community with your alumni base. There's nothing better.
Hi, everybody. Welcome in here on FloHockey. So good to have you with us here. It's Championship Friday. My name is Ben Holden. Thrilled to be joined by Pat Micheletti on the broadcast here, Pat. And these two teams, Michigan Tech, as you saw, and Bemidji State, different roads to get here. The Huskies come in winners of their last 4. They're 6-1 in their last 7. But on the other side, Bemidji State, the nation's longest unbeaten streak at 11 games. They've won 9 straight. What a game this should be.
It's going to be terrific. And you're right. They're both playing great at the right time of the year. Both stumbled early on, whether it be injuries or finding their game. But I tell you what, both teams are playing great now, and we are in for a classic tonight.
Matthias Scholl, he's the goaltender of the year this season in the CCHA. He's the first team selection as you see the Beavers make their way onto the ice here in a sold-out Sanford Center. Now, on the other side, Blake Pietola, a fifth-year senior, his opposition. He was the goaltender of the year last year. He was the first team selection. He's had a good year, but he hasn't had as good of a year this year as he has had last, but he could be a difference in this game tonight.
Well, this kid has 24 career shutouts. Third overall behind Dryden McKay.
Yep.
And you know the other guy.
Ryan Miller. Who Joe Shawn coached
That's
in
right.
the North American Hockey League back in his day.
And so, you know, this guy's played in a lot of big games. He's a big-time goalie. He saved the day for him last weekend.
He sure did.
Against Minnesota State, was probably one of the save of the year. So, you know, and listen, he's ready to go. Both these teams are ready to go. It's going to be a great one tonight.
It sure is. Not a seat left in here. They added about 500 standing room only tickets for this game, the biggest game of the year.
How about this arena, too?
It's beautiful.
I mean, this is one of, you know, you're talking about the CCHA.
Yep.
This arena is as good as there is in college hockey. Great venue, great atmosphere. You know, I want to play. I think I told you today.
He's wanted to play since the drive up from Minneapolis yesterday. I'll tell everybody out there watching that. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching tonight. Here is for the Mason Cup, of course, in honor of the late, great, legendary head coach Ron Mason, who coached this conference back in the original CCHA days. It's been Minnesota State's conference since the CCHA was reborn, now in season 3. But this Michigan Tech team, I want to talk with you a little bit about that, Pat. They were the team that they slayed the Dragon last week in Minnesota State.
Oh, they really did. And I tell you, they're led up front. Their top line with Rode, Gordon, and Mosley, it's one of the most dynamic in college hockey, probably the best in this league. And they are a force to be reckoned with. Bemidji State knows that, and they know that the speed that Michigan Tech brings throughout their whole lineup, and you know, it's going to be a battle tonight.
If you're not familiar with these two teams, maybe you're saying, hey, this is the only championship game of championship weekend on a Friday night. A brilliant move, in my opinion, by Don Lucia, the commissioner, who will join us in the second period to get the spotlight on this conference. These teams are older teams. They play hard, they play heavy, but they've got skill to go with it, Pat.
Well, you know, they do have skill, but I will tell you, this is going to be a hard game. Goals are hard to come by. You've got two great goaltenders. You've got two teams that defend really, really well. And you know who's gonna blink first, right?
Yeah.
Who's gonna make that mistake? Who's the team that is gonna come back from adversity? There's gonna be ebbs, there's gonna be flows, and that's what's great about this game of college hockey.
We spent some time this week with both coaches, and Tom Serratori, the Bemidji State head coach, his team, the McNaughton Cup champions, the regular season champ, again, taking that away from Minnesota State. In their final weekend of the regular season, the Beavers took care of business against Luke Strand's team. Of course, Mike Hastings had an amazing run at Minnesota State. He's now moved on. But this Bemidji State team, I think the one area that you and I have looked at the most things you look at and you say, okay, that's a wash.
Yeah.
But defensively, Bemidji State has the more experienced back end, don't
they? Very much so. And Eric Polkamp might be one of the best defensemen in all of college hockey. And his play as of late has propelled him. And I don't know he became a different player after Christmas.
Yeah.
But he's a freshman, right? And all of a sudden, you're not a freshman anymore. And I think he understood that and is played, like I said, as well as any defenseman in the country.
Something that I took away in a conversation we had with Tom Serratori, whole camp, a San Jose Sharks draft pick, so David Quinn and company down the road are going to get a stud of a player. He's out of Brainerd, Minnesota. He's got 11 goals. He's got a bomb of a shot. He's an NHL shot already at this point. And what Tom said to us, he said, look, he came back, to your point about since December. He came back from the World Junior, but he wasn't playing high-end minutes. He was the 7th defenseman, so he was probably more fresh, right?
Oh, without a doubt. And but there, he worked with some really good coaches, and his defensive game has gotten better. And I think a lot of that can be attributed to the staff they had with the junior team. He was there every day and just, I think, realized that, hey, I have to step my game up.
Right.
I have it in me to step up, and there's areas that I need to be better at. One of them was defensively, and offensively, he's been great as of late. So you put all that together, the maturity comes, the understanding of, hey, I've got to be the guy every night. I want to be the guy every night, and he's certainly been that for Bemidji State.
He sure has, and there's Jackson Judding, who is an outstanding leader. We'll dive in to that story as well. He's been great, transferred in from Colorado College. The two teams have been announced. We are now set to turn things over down at ice level for the playing of tonight's national anthem. So the stage is set here from the Sanford Center here in northern Minnesota. Bemidji State, they will face Blake Pietola and the Huskies of Michigan Tech, and the place is jam-packed. It's a big game when both the mascots and both of the bands are in the building, Pat.
This atmosphere is absolutely terrific, Ben, and one thing I want to look at early, because this game is in Bemidji. They've got the hometown crowd. They got the band, although Tech's band is here. Initially for Michigan Tech, weather the storm, first 10 minutes, the game will settle in. We're going to see the ups and downs, but these first 10 minutes are critical for Michigan Tech, because Bemidji State, playing at home in front of their home fans, is going to come out guns a-blazing.
Michigan Tech's a program the last 2 years. Joe Shawn, who's now in his 7th season, they have made the NCAA tournament as an at-large team. Bemidji State, they haven't made it since 21. That year they knocked off Wisconsin when they had Cole Caulfield. And there's Matthias Scholl, and of course an automatic bid. There's only going to be one bid in this conference this year. It's the winner of this game, so it's bring it tonight for both.
Win or go home, right?
Yep.
And, we talked to both coaches throughout the week, and the respect that they have for each other, the respect that they have for each other's teams, they say, we're a lot alike. We play a lot alike. And what does that mean, right? I mean, that means it's going to be a tough, hard, in-your-face type hockey game.
We'll find out here over the next couple of hours. Early icing call here, 8 seconds into the hockey game. 5th time these two have met this season. Michigan Tech leads the season series 2-1-1. And back in the lineup tonight on the third line for Michigan Tech is Kyle Kukkonen, who was injured in their series in January in Houghton. He's a high-end skill guy that they really like, and they're glad to have him back. In fact, he was a former teammate of Leighton Road, who you touched on back in their junior hockey days, so they know each other very well, as these two teams do. Now Bemidji State throws a puck through the top of the paint. Huskies are there. They look up the middle. Looking up the middle there for Logan Pietila. There's 4 Pietilas on the roster. 3 are brothers. Jed is the cousin. Logan and Blake are twins. And the youngster Chase on the back end, who's got it right on cue on his stick. He's the young pup, and he has got a bit of an edge to him when it comes to playing defense. Jack Works trying to get it in, but it was taken away by Wolf at the line, Pat.
Well, both these teams, are very, very good in the neutral zone. And so, it's critical that you get pucks in deep, you throw pucks hard at the net, you get hard in on the forecheck. That was one of the things Tom Serratori talked about
today. Look out here. Came free to Works. Go ahead.
What was just, beating them to pucks.
Here comes Bronte right in. He's out of Australia, a native of Australia. Many say he's the fastest player on this Michigan Tech team, number 5. He's one of a couple guys on their team, too, that are married. So a very mature group in many ways. This Michigan Tech program is Bemidji State. You could say the same about them. Older team for the most part, hard, heavy, physical. Here's a guy that can be hard, heavy, and physical. Katarov flips it in, the big Swede. Scholl steering it away. Huskies finish on the body, but here comes Bemidji back the other way with it. Carter Jones fanned on the shot. He's defended tightly in the corner. Bruce Vita is a referee tonight. Along with Brady Johnson, Tyler Landman, and Nathan Vole are the linesmen working this CCHA championship game here tonight. Michigan Tech's just had the one chance from Bronte so far. Bemidji State's had the puck in the attacking zone and much more. And you can see what Michigan Tech is trying to do. They play a 1-3-1, so they want Bemidji State to dump the puck in and get the puck back and transition the other way. And that's one thing Tom Serratori talked about, is that they're going to, when they dump the puck in, unless we have speed going, it's very, very easy for Tech to get the puck, one pass, and out of the zone. That's what they have to try to get to and get in quickly on their forecheck. Well, both teams will change up the personnel here. 2.5 minutes into this opening period, the Mason Cup final. Third in the rebirth of the CCHA, the championship on the line here tonight. Sellout crowd here in northern Minnesota. 11-game unbeaten streak for Bemidji State. That's tops in the country. That's also the longest they've ever had in their long and storied program history. They've won 9 in a row. Boston College was in front of them. They're now at 11 straight. BC winning earlier today. Here's a puck onto the stick of defenseman Kyle Loft. 5th-year guy, just a stud on the back end for Tom Serratori. Out to center, Magnuson's pass taken away. Now the Huskies will look to counter. Pietila comes in, didn't get much on the shot. He'll track it down. He was the hero last weekend in the Minnesota State game, had a penalty shot goal, and then the winner, as Scholl gloves this one, as Chase Pietila sent it in. It was credited to Logan Pietila. He shot the puck in. It went off a stanchion. Minnesota State's defenseman tried to whack it down, and it went into the net with 9 seconds to go. Well, you've got that top line of Michigan Tech with Pietila and Pietila, Gordon, and Mosley. Yep. And Tom Serratori, I asked him today, he knows how dynamic that line is. Are you going to put a checking line on him? He said, well, I'm going to play it. I'm going to just see how things go, but ideally he'd love to have the jutting line out against that top line of Michigan Tech. Good shot there from Jack Works, who's had some big moments for the Huskies this year. He does, as his name says, he works from the Northwest Territories in Canada. Started his college hockey career at Denver. Now Russell on the line, looked into the slot. Good challenge there. Denying the opportunity there was Polkamp, and here is Eric Polkamp from Brainerd, Minnesota, 5th-round pick of the San Jose Sharks. An outstanding talent on the back end for Serratori and the Beavers. And this play whistled and called offside with 16:02 remaining in period one.
See, when you have that 1-3-1, and that time Polkamp was able to carry it through the neutral zone, but you got 4 guys lined up on the blue line. And, you have to make that decision there. Are you just going to chip it by and go after him, or are you going to try to gain the line? Well, if you try to gain the line, those other guys coming up the ice with you have to be aware not to go offside. They did that time.
Yep, exactly. Now Michigan Tech, Kukkonen in a race into the corner. First game back in about 2 months, a little over 2 months. As he gets a little reacclimated with some of these Beaver players. Flamang back there, he's one of them. And Kokorin as well.
As much as Michigan Tech would like to play with speed, early in this hockey game, as you can see the opportunity that Tech had right on the doorstep and Scholl with the save.
Yep.
But they can slow the game down a little bit and kind of keep that momentum away from Bemidji just by hanging back a little bit and controlling that neutral zone.
Huskies with the edge in shots 4-2 here in the early going. Just past the 4-minute mark is Scholl, that one wide of the target, but he makes no mistake. And that's another area, Pat, we talked with both coaches. And we see so many goals that are scored from bizarre angles. This kind of game, that's going to happen a lot.
And they both talked about it, right? They both, hey, throw everything at the net,
Yep.
A crazy bounce, because these teams all throughout college hockey, they pack it in tight to the goaltender. And you throw it out front, it goes off a shin pad, a back of the leg, helmet, glove, whatever the case may be. That's the thing, because it is so hard now to get pucks to the net, especially from the point, and it's so hard to get in the middle of the ice for a good shot. It just these teams defend so well now.
Chase Pietila defending there on Magnuson. The Beavers get it in. They got a good bounce, good roll of it there. The shot, they didn't get much on it. Now Chase Pietila trying to get away from Jackson Judning, tripped in the corner there, just lost an edge. Magnuson comes down into the corner, unable to get it. Centering attempt there. Good look there for Jopi. Low shot from Loth. He missed it right on the ice. Game free now. It'll be skated back through here by the CCHA Rookie of the Year, Isaac Gordon. That dangerous line that Pat talked about. They're trying to get something going here in the O-Zone, but they're going to pull 2 of their forwards off of this line right now to change. Now Works on the puck. There's another one of those shots from anywhere. Just get it at the net. Back comes Bemidji State now. Speeding up that right wing is Eric Martin. Career year for him in terms of points. A veteran guy on this team. Michigan Tech now. They'll try to work it ahead. They don't connect. Tough pass for Polkamp to handle, but a good job, guy. Polkamp there getting back, getting it out of harm's way. Martin's got it now. Up the wing. Rode missed on the return. Now Polkamp back at center. He'll quickly get it back in deep. Campbell on the back end, wrapping it around for Jack Works. He zings one up the middle. Tough one to handle. Matthias Scholl will slow it, and he'll paddle it on. Irie, big goal against Lake Superior State in the semifinals for the Beavers, helping them win 4-1. Halfway through that game, Pat, Lake Superior had just 3 shots to show you how good Bemidji State was defensively in that game.
And they've been great defensively throughout this 11-game unbeaten streak.
9 straight wins, 6.5 gone here in the opening period. The Mason Cup final here in the CCHA championship game. Looking for our first goal in the game. Loose puck now. Chiddington will pick it up from the goal line. Another shot there you go. Right? We're seeing a lot of that.
Yeah, and you see where that rebound went. Good clear by Tech, but
Huskies now in the O-Zone. Good defensive work by Fulmer. Cross ice look into the circle there for Big Kataroff. McLean will try and tie him up. Did a good job in there.
Oh, boy.
And now Fulmer goes back in behind the net there, playing it back for his D partner here. Both these teams looking for their first CCHA tournament titles. Now Flamang up the wing. Jones trying to follow the play and help out. Magnuson, good keep at the line, but the Huskies quickly transition. Good stick coming back there. Really good stick there by Väisänen.
I tell you, we've had great pace in this game through the first 8 minutes. Both teams up and down the ice. Not a lot of ice in that neutral zone.
No.
Not a lot of ice in the middle of the ice. And, we're just seeing guys going down, busting down on the wings, and not a lot of great opportunities yet. Everything from the outside. But as you mentioned, Ben, a lot of pucks thrown at the net.
Seeing both teams doing that from the goal line quite a bit, just getting it at the net in this kind of game, in the magnitude of it, everything's got to go to the net. Now the Huskies get a turnover at center. They gain the zone. Ryland Mosley's got 17 snipes on the year. Good pad save there from Scholl. Mosley, lead feed now ahead at the line for Jopi. Just couldn't handle it. He was offside. He tags up, and now they're back and good to go. Mosley just one back of their team leader in the goal department. That's Isaac Gordon, the outstanding freshman. Now Logan Pietola. Ian Blake, the goaltender. Twins, as I mentioned, fifth-year guys. Meant so much for them, Pat, to come back this year to play with younger brother Chase.
Yeah, it's one of the main reasons why both came back, right?
I mean, you come from a big family and played with your brothers at various levels. You know what that means.
Yeah, absolutely. And, you have a lot of pride. And
something you can't do forever, right? It's pretty cool and pretty special. As icing called here with 11:25 to go here in the opening period. Mason Cup final. Ben Holden, Pat Micheletti, all of our crew, and good to have you with us on FloHockey wherever you're watching tonight.
Well, one thing that I've noticed thus far through the first 9 minutes of this game is Bemidji State's having a difficult time getting the puck in the zone. They're trying to make that one extra pass right when they get to the blue line instead of just shipping it back and going hard after it. Michigan Tech's doing a great job of turning those pucks over, transitioning fast, and going the other way. I think if you're Joe Sean, you're real happy with the start of this hockey game.
Chase Pietola wristing one in, punched away with a blocker by Matthias Scholl. Now it's Works. Watched by Polkamp. Works gets a step. Polkamp stays with him. Good defensive play by Polkamp there, but the Huskies get it up top. Pietola slings it across the line. That one hit Polkamp in the right arm, and Michigan Tech can't keep it in, but it's back on the stick of the big, sturdy freshman defender, Chase Pietola. Now Bronte in there, trying to create some havoc. Wolf lifting one, not out though, kept in. Now a look for Katarov, a rising shot there. Missed the net. And the big Swede there, back on the puck, product of Gothenburg, Sweden. Centering attempt there, came onto a Bemidji State stick. Another shot in the left pad, saved by Scholl there. Good shot by Williams from that left point. Now Martin gets a stick on it, and he's given a bump there out at center. Getting a piece of him there was Kyle Kukkonen. Pietola drops it back. Katarov, another good shot, and punched away again by Matthias Scholl. The Huskies now up to 9 shots. Here's Irie coming in on Chase Pietola. Good defensive play there. Katarov couldn't poke it by Bemidji. They get the puck out in front. Good chance for Chiddington there. Their best here in the game so far. Now Kukkonen, back in his home state of Minnesota, gets it in. The Huskies will change.
Yeah, good couple shifts here by Michigan Tech. Bemidji State gets it in deep finally, and then they go to work and they create an opportunity. Obviously, those are the things that the Beavers have to do.
Here's McLean, goes wide with it. Shot never got through. Campbell was there. Bemidji State now down below the goal line. Chiddington tied up. Pretty good scrum coming away there, and the puck finally comes free. Loaf tried to shuffleboard it back down the wall with a stick there, but Michigan Tech's on it. And they fanned on that pass. Russell, the Beavers don't get to it till it gets back to center. Loaf quickly slings it up the right side. No entry there, denied there on a good physical play by Matthew Campbell. Pedersen now had his pocket picked a bit. 50-50 puck. Magnuson and the Beavers whistled, called offside. 8:56 to go in the opening period here. A sold-out Sanford Center. You're watching the Mason Cup final on FloHockey.
When you need that boost, they're there. They're standing for the entire hockey game. You don't have to be a historic hockey fan to love Michigan Tech hockey. It's a win every night for the people in attendance. everybody who comes through our program is a member of the Michigan Tech hockey family. This community understands what hard work's about. To be part of something bigger than yourself, the students and Pep, they mean more than you could possibly imagine.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Chow, freshly baked bread piled high with Italian-style meats and provolone. Hey to you too, hand-sliced veggies. Oil and vinegar, oregano and basil, nice to see ya. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yes. Should I see someone about that? Probably. Jimmy John's, order online or on the app.
Drawn just outside the Michigan Tech blue line here. 8:56 to play in period one. Shots are 10-4 in favor of Michigan State and Michigan Tech, and Michigan Tech gets possession of the puck. Now Mosley plays it back. Huskies looking for a little room. Scholl's been tested 10 times. He stopped all 10 of them.
Yeah, he's been sharp thus far in the first period. You mentioned 10 shots on goal already for Michigan Tech. And Tech's doing a really, really good job. They're just not allowing anything for Bemidji State on the offensive side of the puck.
They seem to be quicker when they're getting the puck and transitioning. Is that right?
And you know, it just, you know, I talk about that neutral zone, and they're holding them up at the blue line, and Bemidji State has been able to get to their forecheck one time. And when they did, they had the great opportunity, their only opportunity of the period. So, you know, I'm sure the talk on the bench is, guys, get pucks deep, get it past them, and get after it.
Center on, Blake Pianola in the net now, making his 27th straight start. Matthias Scholl at the other end. He's 9-0-1 in the 11-game unbeaten streak for Bemidji State. So you got two goaltenders that know each other very well, and they're the two very best the last 2 years in this league.
And there's no mystery. Matthias Scholl got hurt early in the season at St. Thomas and was out for 7 weeks. And, you know, in that time, they stumbled a little bit. When he came back is when this team started to play really well.
Yeah, and the two teams are mirror images in so many ways. And for Michigan Tech on the other side, an 0-4-3 start. This team was picked 9th in the country. And clearly the CCHA favorite because of the young man that just made the stop there, Blake Pianola, his brother Logan, and other guys they had coming back and making the tournament the last 2 years. But Joe Sean told us flat out, he said, I think too many guys are reading the clippings.
Oh, exactly.
And he had to get them back on track, and he has.
And that can get to you. You know, you start thinking it's going to be easy, right? Well, nothing's easy in this league.
Martin with a steal. He laid the puck back there, wanted Leighton Road, didn't connect. Now Works, he'll flip it in at the line, ticking down near 7 to go here in the opening period of play. Michigan Tech out shooting Bemidji 2-1. It's 10-5 on the shot board. No score where it matters the most. Huskies now with a chance and a good stop from Scholl. His best of the game right there. Kataroff right out in front. Point blank stop.
Has he been good this period?
Yes.
That is a grade A opportunity for Tech. And Scholl slams the door on him.
Scholl 3-5-2 in his career against Michigan Tech. 2.50 goals against and a .912 save percentage. He didn't play in the series here in Bemidji against the Huskies, as you mentioned earlier, Pat. That's when he was out and injured. Now Kukkonen. Magnuson back. Kukkonen, long shot. Why not? Get it at the net. They'll go for a change. Now Loaf will zing one up the left side. Mason in there to try to get a piece of it, but I believe the puck went out of play. Well, the draw coming up here. Looks like it's center ice.
You know, and here's a funny thing. These teams, as you're going to see, what a great save by Scholl. And I tell you what, he's not a big goaltender, but he finds the puck. He's squared up on that. And look at him, just makes the big save to keep it at 0.
Yeah, a bit of a throwback. He's 5'10 and 175 in that way. And I don't mean that disrespectfully, but most goaltenders, they're over 6'2 nowadays,
right.
Most of them. Here comes Jutting now. Wide of Lake Pietola, who's listed at 6 foot. Now the Beavers trying to get to Pietola. Here's a chance. They do! Right on cue! They put it away. They center the puck. And Casper Magnuson and the Beavers draw first blood. It's 1-0.
Well, you get the puck in deep and you go to work, and you saw all 3 forwards behind the net. They gain control of the puck. And Magnuson right in that slot area, didn't even look, got the puck on his stick, and he puts it past Pietola to make it 1-0. And what a pass by Jopi right off the sideboards to a wide open Magnuson in front, and he turned and fired, and Pietola had no chance on that. For a period that's been dominated by Michigan Tech, Bemidji State gets on the board first.
7th of the season for Magnuson. He's a freshman, 6'1", 200-pounder out of Norway. And indeed, Pat, it's been the Huskies period, but Bemidji State withstood, got the chance, and Magnuson snaps in the first goal in this game, coming up on 5 to play in the period. Now, Bemidji trying to come in. Numbers now 2-on-1 for sure, back the other way. Here they come. Nordstrom the low shot. Scholl made a stop. Rebound, and they score! Chase Pietola. He goes to the top of the paint, and he gets it by Matthias Scholl. And just like that, the game is tied at 1.
Well, there was a turnover in the neutral zone. Bemidji countered quickly, and then they turned it over. As you can see the shot, and Pietola right on the doorstep knocks it past Scholl to tie this game up at 1. And what's the most important shift after a goal? It's the next shift.
The response.
The response. And Michigan Tech answers the bell and ties this game up at 1 apiece.
That's exactly the kind of response you want to see, and the Huskies have got it level at 1-1 here. Under 5 to play in the period.
And I tell you, what a defensive play at the blue line, because that was going to be a 2-on-1 for Bemidji State. Gets broken up, goes the other way. Bemidji State gets caught a little bit. 2-on-1 going the other way, and Pietola knocks in the rebound.
Good pressure from F1 there for Bemidji. They get some help on the wall now. Beavers trying to get this puck in deep. They do. Magnuson for the point. That's Will Magnuson. Number 5 getting in there, trying to help out. He leads their club in blocks. He's 8th in the country on the defensive side when it comes to blocking shots now. Here's the dangerous Leighton Road with it. Home state product from the great state of Minnesota here. Irie plays it ahead. Good look there for Loaf. As Martin trying to set up the captain, the D, pinching in from the line. Now Loaf lost the puck now, and Gordon plays it ahead now. Logan Pietola comes in. Left side, tried to center it there. They try to bank it there. Off of Scholl was Mosley with that shot attempt. Top line back out there now for the Huskies. They center it way up high. Gathered in at the line. Jopi, he turned it over. Now it's Logan Pietola back in. His shot off the mark. Jopi will track it down. Far side half wall. Now on to Leighton Road. Road gets a step. Chase Pietola, those. Big young lad, about 6'2" and 200 pounds back there. Didn't give him much. Huskies back in now. Koska Purdy's got it now. Shoots. Pad save from Scholl. Dangerous play there as Jopi was trying to play it back in behind the net. That allows the Huskies to keep this puck down low. Now they get it low to high. The shot off the mark. Now Magnuson The goal scorer here in this one for Bemidji State. A good shot from Polkamp there, and a tricky one that Pietola got.
Yeah, he kicked out that right pad.
Good challenge there by Jackson Judding. The Huskies carried in now. Bronte had it, lost it. Now loose puck in the corner. Dante Lawson gets it ahead now. Jake McLean, he scored in that semifinal victory against Lake Superior last weekend here at the Sanford Center. Now Michigan Tech out to center. Rasmussen could not handle it. Lawson couldn't get it through on the first attempt. Now on the second, gets it deep. 2:15 to play in period one. 1-1 tie here in the Mason Cup final, the CCHA championship game. McLean sweeping it ahead. Flamang gets it in deep. Blake Pietola comes out. Onto the corner. Logan Pietola now. First line right back out there for Joe Sean.
Yeah,
Joe's in his seventh year.
You know what? He's kind of double shifting them, if you will.
Mm-hmm.
Takes them off, shift, and then they're right back out there. I think he's trying to get the matchup that, is best going to suit them. And I tell you what, Bemidji State has got to be aware every time that line is on the ice, because they will turn you over.
Mm-hmm.
You cannot get caught. How many 2-on-1s or 3-on-1s have we seen this period with that line?
Dangerous trio. Many believe it's the very best line in this league. And there's some good ones. Bemidji State would argue that with their top line with Irie Road and Martin. But Gordon, the freshman of the year with 18 goals. You get a look at Blake Pietola there from behind. And you mentioned his shutout number. That's not going to happen tonight, obviously. But he came in first among NCAA Division I active goalies. 75 career wins, 140 games played. He's over 3,300 saves in his career, and just an amazing run he's had. Polkamp shot. You get in front of one of his shots, that's a man-sized block, as he can really shoot at 23 and white. Final minute here in the opening period, a 1-1 tie. Martin takes it, walks into the zone, looks for a little support. Good stick there. Now Bronte back the other way. He's got Works going to the goal, but Wolf was back there negating that. Works wanted to walk right down the slot, but he could not get the puck.
Well, I can tell you what the message is going to be in the Bemidji State locker room.
Yep.
After this first period, it's we got to quit turning the puck over at the opposing blue line. There's too many turnovers, and it's really giving Michigan Tech some really good looks here in this first period.
Final 20 seconds now in it. Huskies trying to get one more push here. There's a shot that hit the post, the right goal post.
Whoa.
And that was so close to making it 2-1. How big is that?
Yeah, I don't know if that hit something going in, but Scholl did not see it. Went right over his shoulder and off the crossbar. And then behind him, we'll take another look at it here. We're going to see that shot. Yeah, he was completely screened.
Overhead look there. Referees are discussing. Our referees tonight, Bruce Vida and Brady Johnson, they're wearing the orange. Of course, the Pumpkins and Tyler Landman, Nathan Vole are the linesmen. Video replay official is Rick Nelson here tonight from Bemidji.
Well,
Pat, what'd you see?
The initial call was waved off.
Yep.
And now a little conversation, little huddle.
Another look at it here from overhead. That's the right call. Yep, right call. So final seconds here will tick away. And after 20 minutes here in the CCHA Championship, the Mason Cup final, Casper Magnuson got his 7th to get the Beavers on top. Chase Pietola with his 3rd, tied it up. He's got all 3 goals in his last 7 games. And a big goal and a big response from Michigan Tech. We're going to talk to Chase Pietola momentarily once The players are off. Welcome upstairs, Ben Holden, Pat Micheletti. Pat, opening 20, what are your thoughts?
Hey, well, I thought Michigan Tech had a great period. And, I think Bemidji State shot themselves in the foot a little bit. They had opportunities to get the puck in, and Michigan Tech did a great job of turning them over, transitioning, and they had, 2, 3, 4 odd man rushes in that period. Matthias Scholl was terrific for Bemidji State. 1-1 game.
1-1 game indeed. And let's go down to Chase Pietala, who's been kind enough to join us. And Chase, just give us your opening thoughts on the opening 20 minutes in this matchup. What's play been like out there?
What was your mindset going into? You know that you're coming into a hostile environment, big crowd, sold out crowd. What was the thoughts of getting through the first 10 minutes of the game?
Chase, thanks for this. We'll let you get in with your team, and good luck the rest of the way in this game tonight. All right, so the thoughts from Chase Pietala there, and a 1-1 game here in this championship tilt after 20.
Yeah, we knew it was going to be tight. We know goals were going to be hard to come by.
Yep.
But, and for the road team, and sometimes it's more difficult for the home team. You get the nerves, you get the crowd, you might try some things that, and we saw it. You try to make plays at the blue line. It's not there all the time.
Right.
You just got to live to fight another day, get the puck in deep. But when you're turning pucks over right at the blue line and they're going the other way, I tell you what, if it weren't for Matthias Scholl that period, we might have a different score. But they weathered the storm. It's 1-1. And I'm sure that's a conversation that they're going to have in the Bemidji State locker room.
No doubt about it. We'll take a timeout. A lot more coming your way here after 20 minutes here. It's the Mason Cup final here from Bemidji. Bemidji and Michigan Tech tied at 1-1 after 20.
What's the best environment to study the environment? At Bemidji State University, it's not in the classroom or in a lab, but in the actual environment. In the fields and in the forests, and on more than 400 lakes within 25 miles of our campus. What can the Northwoods teach you? Find out at Bemidji State University.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled high with Italian-style meats and provolone. Hey to you too, hand-sliced veggies. Oil and vinegar, oregano and basil, nice to see ya. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yes. Should I see someone about that? Probably. Jimmy John's, order online or on the app.
You've heard the news. The demand for healthcare professionals has never been stronger. But did you know that healthcare means more than nursing, and the pay has never been better? In 2 years or less, an affordable, accessible education from Northwest Technical College can give you the training you need for a well-paying, in-demand job in nursing, dental assisting, healthcare administration, community health work, gerontology, and more. Start the path toward your dream job in healthcare. Northwest Technical College. Learn today, earn tomorrow.
Luke Manning tied it with 25 seconds to go. Here's Judding down the right wing, cuts to the middle, scores the game winner for Bemidji State.
We had high expectations for this group. We knew what we had in the room, but I think every team, at the start of the season, you kind of know your group, you kind of know the league, but the beauty of the beginning of the season, Perry, is that you all have belief, and but our belief, was real, and again, we just had a lot of puzzle pieces we felt that could get us to this point. Well, I think actually our injuries, and people might, laugh at me at this, but I think our injuries helped us. And it's tough to have injuries, but when you have injuries, players are playing. Roles are being elevated. Somebody's different on the power play. Somebody's moving up from the fourth line to the third line, or the third line to the second line, or the second line to the first line. Somebody's maybe killing penalties and never killed penalties before. So what you're doing is you're actually building depth in your team. So when you have your injuries, when your injuries come back, you've got a lot of players right there. And sometimes, again, it's tough to choose a lineup then. So I think the injuries actually helped us, and I think a lot of guys actually improved during that time frame. The bottom line, all of us, we have to know who we are. And I don't care if it's any team in our league, we have to know who we are. And how do we click? What's our business model? And then we got to figure out from there what our business model is, and then we got to recruit to it. And I think you have to recruit to your school. I think you have to recruit to your area, and you have to recruit to your community. And I think I think we understand that, and we try to do the best job we can. It's really important, and I'm so happy for Kyle and Carter Jones, because they came back as fifth years, and you don't know what they're coming back for a reason, and it could be where they just love the guys, they love the area, they love the program, they want one more year of hockey. They might be coming back because they feel our team's going to be really good. There's many different reasons why somebody comes back a fifth year is what I'm getting at. But when they do come back a fifth year and they had the years that they did, to me, it's all gratifying and it's so rewarding. Look at the awards Kyle received this year for coming back a fifth year. I mean, Carter, 20-some points. Just an integral part of our team. So when you see that, you sit there as a coach and it puts a smile on your face, because all you want out of your players is you want the best experience for your players as possible. And those guys can reflect back on not only a great 5 years at Bemidji State, but when they look back at their last year, they're going to look back at it with memories that are really special.
Mason Cup.
Yes.
The hardware they're
Purple. It's not just a color. It represents our state, our home, and our team. At Affinity Plus, we have the experience to help you achieve your financial goals while helping our neighbors in need. It's our purple pride, because banking is what we do, and people is who we are. Affinity Plus, your purple banking people. Named #1 credit union in Minnesota by Forbes magazine.
It's a hockey-defining moment. Many hear the call, only a few ever answer it. But those who do vow to bravely defend the world's smallest kingdom, the 24 square feet of a hockey net. Every time you go in net, so do we.
Alone, I'm the last line of defense.
I am the difference. We are in net.
There it is, Pat. That's what they're playing for, the Mason Cup there. You saw that, and you get a look at some of the crowd here, and welcome up to our humble abode. Ben Holden, Pat Micheletti. We're going to be joined.
Great to be here.
We're going to be joined by the commissioner of the conference, Don Lucia, here once the second period gets going. Biggest takeaway first for Bemidji State after 20.
Quit turning pucks over.
Okay.
Pretty simple.
How about the other side?
Yeah. How about Michigan Tech?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought they countered well. I thought, listen, when you get the opportunities in a game like this, you got to finish.
Yeah.
Now, Matthias Scholl was great.
He was really
okay,
good.
But, there's ebbs and flows in a game. Bemidji State is going to make some adjustments, and, they'll look at it and say, hey, come on, we can't turn pucks over. So the opportunities might not be there for Tech when they get them, because they're far and few between, and it's so hard to score, in a game like this, that you got to bury them.
Sure do. 14-7 are the shots on goal. As you look at the building here, the Sanford Center, their biggest crowd of the season here. And the numbers through 20, you see the numbers there, 14-7, no penalties. So both teams playing sharp, playing disciplined, and the rest of the numbers.
And both teams are very, very disciplined. They don't take a lot of penalties.
They don't, you're right.
And so I don't think we're going to see a lot of power plays tonight. And the importance of this game, right?
Yeah.
You instead of just sliding and putting that hook on a guy, you're skating and you're eliminating him. And there's just listen, there's not a lot of room. You get the puck, you got to move it quickly, and you got to keep your legs moving. It's been a fast-paced game. It's been a good, it was a good period. And for Bemidji State, they're thinking, you know what, we kind of escaped that period with our mistakes. So limit the mistakes, and they had 2 chances to score in that period, and they scored on one of them. And it was a great goal.
Here's a look at the highlights from the opening period there. And
I mean, you see what's happening. Guys are getting the puck, and they are, bam, they're north and south. Everything has been pretty much north and south for both of these teams when they get the chance. And you see one of a great opportunity. That was the other chance that Bemidji State had.
That was Reese Chiddington's chance.
Yeah, and then the beautiful goal here. Just a quick, you get that puck in the prime scoring area, and Magnuson put that away.
Yep, good look at it from overhead, and then right back comes Michigan Tech, and the shot, the rebound, and Chase Pietola, bang, his third in his last 7 games, ties us up at 1.
Right, and Scholl made the initial save, but again, that all happened off of a turnover by Bemidji State. 2-on-1, Scholl makes the save, and there's, the third guy there for Michigan Tech, which is Pietola, and he knocked it home.
What you thought we would see so far?
A little bit surprised. I thought there'd be a little bit more juice coming out of Bemidji State, but credit Michigan Tech because they kind of stymied everything, and Bemidji State couldn't get anything rolling.
Yeah.
I thought they'd come out like gangbusters. They didn't. It was Michigan Tech who just kind of played a smart chess game. They turned them over. They held back. They checked. They didn't give them any room. And when you do that, you saw what happened. A lot of odd man rushes going the other way.
Indeed the case, a 1-1 game. The winner in this one, they're headed to the NCAA tournament. Bemidji State, they went in 2021. Michigan Tech, Joe Sean has done an incredible job in 7 years as the head coach. He was there with the previous coach, Mel Pearson, but he's really established this program as one of the very best in this conference. And I know Minnesota State for years has owned it, but now you got this new wave coming, Bemidji and now Tech, and they're in it this year.
And Joe said something kind of interesting to us during the week. He said, we had a team that made it there last year. And he said, but this year there was just something different with his team. He said, we were a team. Everyone was together. And it's hard to get all 26 guys thinking the same way, believing the same way, and they're a confident group, and they came out in this first period and were terrific.
All right, we'll take a break. We'll come back with much more, and we'll get period number 2 underway here in the Mason Cup final here in the CCHA championship game between Bemidji State and Michigan Tech.
Well, Logan can give them a lead. Logan with 2 goals here tonight coming down on Charleston. Makes a move and scores between the legs. And the Huskies go up 2-1 in the shootout.
Yeah, obviously, that goal was pretty cool, but it's kind of more just trying to have fun. But you never know, when you're going to try to pull something out like that. But definitely thought about it, but, that was more just kind of maybe a one-time thing for fun. Yeah, no, we've, this season we've been down a couple goals before, whether that's early in the game or even down 2 goals. And, we kind of show a lot of resilience in our group, just fighting back and, never really feeling like we're out of it. So, obviously, being down there against Mankato, we always thought we had a chance, and we just kind of stick to what we do best. Playing with those guys like Blake and Chase, like my brothers, and then with Jed, being a cousin, growing up close next to him, for sure. Maybe you do overlook it at times, but this being my last year, definitely try to sit back and I guess kind of be thankful for what kind of a cool opportunity it is. So it's for sure it's cool to kind of look back on. We've struggled the past couple years, in the semifinals, and it's been it's kind of good, I guess, to get the monkey off the back and kind of get through to this championship game. So it was a cool experience, especially in front of that home crowd. Home crowd was electric. Yeah, I always look at the Misfits. I think they're the best traveled group in sports, and definitely the loudest. And the pep band, with them, and then I guess our student section at home too. It's incredible. And whether we're playing, miles and miles away or right at home, they're always showing up. So it's awesome to kind of show their support toward us. Obviously, Michigan Tech hockey means a lot to that community until the alumni have gone through. So it's going to mean a lot to them, kind of seeing a championship game for the first time in a couple of years. So, yeah, obviously we're going to give it our best, and we're going to try to make them proud.
Check. Nope.
Second period underway here. CCHA Championship game, the Mason Cup final. Ben Holden, Pat Micheletti, and all of our crew here. It's a 1-1 tie. The commish is with us, Don Lucia. Don, good to have you with us. How are you doing tonight?
I'm great. What a wonderful game so far. Both teams competing hard, great pace. Bemidji scores, Tech answers very next shift.
So the thought process behind the Friday night. Talk us through that. Walk us through that.
Well, the thought process was with the NCAA tournament moving to Thursday, play Saturday night and come back after the game. Hey, that's a quick turnaround. Since we're just playing one, we opted to go to Friday, give our team an extra day of rest.
Yes. Hey, before we talk more about the game and the league, congratulations to you on being awarded the Hobie Baker Legacy Award for all you've done in college hockey. Terrific. Now you're the commissioner of this league, but from us, congratulations.
Thank you. Now I'll let you get back and talk.
I knew he dodged that like he always did with anything about him. But all kidding aside, talk to us a little bit about the 3 years now overseeing the conference. What are you most proud of? What are you happy about? What do you want to see change moving forward?
Well, I'm just proud of the progress all the programs have made. We've added St. Thomas. Augustana is going to be coming down the line.
Mm-hmm.
This is the commitment level all these programs have. That's what's rewarding and great. There'll be semifinal games, both sold out. Great atmosphere. Walk through all the ring before underneath. I'm even interested.
Yeah. Hey, listen. I mean, this arena, this facility is one of the best in college hockey, and it's the first time for me in this building. And I tell you what, the atmosphere, the crowd, it's just it's been terrific to be a part of.
We have a lot of great leagues and great facilities.
Right.
I think that's what makes it special for our individual teams.
Yeah, and St. Thomas building a new one, Augustana built theirs, and obviously, and the history at Michigan Tech in that building. It's just it's been fun to be a part of.
Yes, it really has. And I'm proud of all our teams and coaches and what they've been able to do. But again, it's that commitment of the presidents on God. How important hockey is on that. We're seeing it tonight.
Well, a minute and a half gone here in the second period. No scoring as of yet. Don Lucia is with us here for a few more moments in the booth talking about the CCHA and this game and all things college hockey. Is Bemidji State regular season champs, McNaughton Cup champs, trying to do something they haven't done since 2009. That's when both the regular season and the conference championship. And Pat, you and I both remember what happened that year. They went to the Frozen Four in D.C., so who knows? A long way to go in this game, but Michigan Tech's a program. The last 2 years, they've been an at-large out of this conference into the NCAA tournament. And we'll have an icing call here.
Well, both these teams know what's at stake here. One goes home tonight, and one goes on to the NCAA tournament. There's no at-large bid for either the other, for either team. So they know what's at stake.
They do, and that's why you see the passion. That first period, I think it was a 30-minute first period.
Yeah.
There wasn't many whistles. Very well played. Both goalies are on, and I think this is going to go right down to the wire.
Well,
tonight.
the pace on both these teams, it's just been, you turn the puck over, they're going north and south. There's no east and west passing. You're going.
Yep.
And
great to see the building at capacity here as Corcoran goes back and hammers one up the wall, hopped over the goal scorer for Michigan Tech stick, Chase Pietila. He's a big young lad, 6'2" and about 200 pounds. He's got it now. We'll look to get it cranked up here.
Ben, we talked about it, and
Offside.
Throughout the course of a game, there's going to be adversity for both teams. And who's going to, what team is going to be able to rebound from that adversity and turn the tide? Could be, it could be a big hit, could be a big save.
Crowd getting into it now. Bring back some memories. You see these buildings full like this, Don?
Well, it is. It's what a wonderful atmosphere, and the crowd's been pumped up all week long, and you're seeing their response here tonight. But Tech, they travel well, and their band's here, and they've got great fans as well.
Here's a good shot, a good left pad save made there by Pianola. Right back in it goes, up off the rail a couple of times. Huskies are there. Not much room to operate over there.
All right.
Touch with a high stick
You're
for a whistle.
You're the commissioner now, but you were a coach for a long time. So, you see a team like Michigan Tech played a 1-3-1 in that period. Awfully tough to get any type of ice through the neutral zone or any speed. Bemidji, turn the puck over a little bit. Your message would be,
you got to get pucks behind them. I mean, you can't turn pucks over and shorten the rink up. That's a big part of the game this time of year. But both these coaches are elite. They're both really, really good. They have great structure to their game, and they've had a lot of success over the years. And when you talked about Joe, last 2 years, Michigan Tech's been in the NCAA tournament.
The funny thing is that Ben and I talked to him during the week, and they both said kind of the same thing. We're a lot alike, and we play a lot the same type of style. We have some speed, but we also defend really well. And so,
good goaltender.
Good goaltending on both teams. We both have a defenseman that can play and make plays. And so, we're thinking, man, this is going to be a tight game, and thus far we've seen that.
There's Polkamp, and he looks skyward on that. He is a special young player. We've talked a lot about him. A 5th-round pick of San Jose. Home state guy out of Brainerd. Can do it all, Pat. 11 goals as a freshman. Pretty impressive.
Yeah, well, he's gotten better since Christmas. And he's a freshman. But then, Don, we talked about it. You're not a freshman anymore after January. You've played enough games, and, you start to take over a little bit or get the feeling that, okay, I can play and I got to make plays.
Huskies are on it now. Jack works. Puts on the brakes, gets a little bit of space up the middle. Good challenge there from Polkamp. The puck turned over. Martin now chips it around. Chase Pianola into the corner. Williams takes him in there. Huskies can't get it out in front. And it's bobbled and juggled there. Gathered in by Pianola. A little extracurricular after the whistle. That's really the first thing we've seen in this game. It's been a really clean game, hasn't it?
It really has. And good no call. There's no need to call that one. Make the first one a good one.
Yep.
But both these teams play this way. They're very disciplined.
Yep.
And this is what I expected. I didn't think there'd be many penalties tonight. We got one of our best sets of referee doing the games tonight. Both teams know what's at stake, so there's not going to be anything stupid tonight.
Yeah, we saw that shot there, right? And that kind of came from, the sideboards. And we talked about it today. It's so hard to get pucks to the net. You're going to see these guys throwing it, from anywhere, right?
Yeah, you want to start to funnel the pucks in from sometimes those bad angles, and maybe the goalie will kick one out front to either side.
This puck sent around deep from that right point by Michigan Tech. McLean gets there first, trying to free it up for his teammate. Take it away. How about that one? Almost on the end wall.
Right.
To your guys' point. You got to go all out here. Last game of the year for one of these teams. There's no tomorrow for the loser of this one. Fulmer given a shove there by Kukkonen. Back in the lineup. First time in just over 2 months. 5 gone here in the middle period. Still a 1-1 tie. And we'll get an icing call here with 14:58 to play in the period.
All right, let me ask you. Tech is playing a 1-3-1, okay? And we saw the number of turnovers by Bemidji State right at the blue line. Couldn't get the puck in deep. Are you trying to maybe add a defender, get a defender, one of your defensemen up in the play to join the rush, or is it just the mindset of get over the red line and get it in?
Well, you got to make your decision at the red line. What you're going to do? Can you carry it, or can you dump it with some speed?
Yep.
Rather than trying to bypass somebody right at the blue line and turn it over there. We all know how dangerous it is to turn the puck over at the offensive blue line.
Right. Here's the goal scorer for the Beavers. Magnuson trying to stuff one in there on the backhand, going far post. Jopi, who's a hard-working player down there, trying to keep this puck alive. Took a pretty good shot there from Russell. Good clean hit. Huskies under a little bit of pressure. Good stick from Loft, the veteran leader on this team on the back end. Jopi. Good shift out of this unit here for Tom Serratori.
And let's not forget, this is a young D-core for Michigan Tech.
Yeah.
And Tom Serratori thought, if we can get going on our forecheck and put some pressure on them, we can create some good opportunities.
Kyle Loft with a shot there. They got Pietila up high. This is quite a shift here from Bemidji State, guys. And Michigan Tech, they get it onto the stick of Logan Pietila, and he gets it in deep as they'll change. A big clear there for Michigan Tech. Now Bronte keeps it alive. Williams snaps a shot off a body in front. That was Mosley in there. Mosley sweeps it to the far corner. Jones over there for Bemidji State trying to win the battle. Came free now, and Polkamp head up, quick pass. Flamang couldn't get it out. Williams with a challenge. Now the Huskies, another one of those odd angle shots, everything at the goal. Stopped by Scholl. They've got it coming on the wraparound. Rolled off the stick, and this one will go up into the netting. 15 seconds shy of the 7-minute mark in the period.
Well, that was the first good shift of this period for
was.
Michigan Tech. And it really, it's a matter of what team's going to get the puck in the offensive zone and then go to work. And Michigan Tech did there. But much better start in this period for Bemidji State.
Yeah, shots are even now. You saw that it was 14-7. Now they're even.
Yeah.
This game's settling in now. I think the guys should be more relaxed on both sides.
And we're going to see ebbs and flows throughout this whole game, and we've already seen it here in this second period.
And now we got the wave going. How great is that? This is college hockey at its finest. Fans here, mascots here, sold out building, title on the line, cup in the building. You'll be down on the ice to give that out, right?
Right at the end of the game, or who knows, we might have bonus time tonight.
You never know. We're good for it. We're here for it. Great to be with you. Ben Holden, Pat Micheletti, and our crew here on FloHockey, the commissioner of the CCHA, Don Lucia, with us here. 12.5 to go here in this second period. The guys mentioned the shots, one different now, a 16-15 edge for Michigan Tech. They had a big edge in that opening period. Puck centered up high. Good keep there by Fulmer, but it's sent down the ice. And an icing call here.
Good things happen when you keep the puck down low and you get moving.
You gotta get we used to call it the ground game.
Get
the ground game, going below the dots.
Exactly.
Piece of it. And the other phrase, you got to be able to take a punch. It's like a boxer.
Yeah.
Bemidji scored. Tech came back
right back.
Shift.
And what's the most important shift is the next shift after a goal.
Yes. Next goal will be a big one.
Yeah.
Sure will. Off the draw, Polkamp. On to Wolf. Wolf. Magnuson's stick got on that one. Now the Huskies able to get it through center. Polkamp will stride back to get it. Remember, the gold medal winning U.S. World Junior team was Polkamp. Pat and I talked about that early on, and I know, Don, you can relate all the years you coached at Minnesota and other places. When you had players come back from the World Junior, a lot of times they get that hangover. This kid didn't have a hangover at all.
Yeah, sometimes you get that hangover in January for a couple weeks, and they need some rest, and they take a little dip, and then the end of January, then they take off
again. And unfortunately, that's when the beast of the college season starts right after Christmas. They come back, they're tired.
Bemidji was lucky, though. They had a couple off weeks in January.
They did, yeah.
So he was able to get some time off.
I know you went through it as a coach a number of times where, Minnesota had sent plenty of players, and, it's what do you do?
Yeah, it's an honor to play.
It's an honor to play and representing your country. And
here's Chase Pietila now. Shakes Flamang for the time being. Now he'll shake him free to the other side. Didn't connect on that pass up the half wall. Huskies can't get it. Wolf turns at the line, hit a skate. Jones for the Beavers, slowed up. Big Kataroff in there, kept it away from Flamang, and now Michigan Tech just releasing it out to center. Corcoran's got it inside of his own line. Rasmussen watching him. Väisänen took a shot, flipped it on. Chase Pietala's got it. Looks up the left wing side. Rasmussen there. Fulmer back to get it. Irie trying to leave it there for Väisänen. Now Väisänen gathers, then lost it. And Corcoran will come in and get it. A little bit of room for him. Gains the red, sends it in deep. Bemidji State will change up their personnel inside of 11 to go. Here comes Mosley, 17 on the year. Backhander, he's got 18 on the year. Tied for the team lead. Rylan Mosley with 10:40 to go in the period gives Michigan Tech a 2-1 lead.
And that play started with Bemidji State dumping the puck in. It wrapped all the way around. Bemidji State got caught on one side of the ice. That opened up everything. And Mosley makes a terrific move, goes to his backhand, beats Scholl, and Tech takes a 2-1 lead. What you think is going to be an innocent play. You dump the puck in, it goes all the way around. But everybody on Bemidji gets sucked to one side. Up the ice they go.
Tech did a good job stretching, too.
Oh, they really did.
Standing next to two men with a ton of hockey experience in their coaching, playing careers. What do you make of the stat on Mosley? Now 16 of his 18 goals have come after the first period.
Yeah.
What's that tell you?
It means he's a big-time player.
Yeah.
There you go. 18 on the season, 2-1 Michigan Tech.
Yeah.
Now we look for the response from Bemidji. Irie trying to go back to Road and touch with a high stick. Bruce Vita had the arm in the air in the corner. And now Michigan Tech, here they come. They gain the line. Laid back for Campbell. Campbell back into the slot. Good job by Martin getting in the way of the would-be shooter. Scholl was down. Jack works. He does what his name says. Every shift he's out there, a hard-working customer. And we've reached our 10-minute media timeout. Don, I just want to say thanks for the opportunity.
Yep.
Thanks for coming up.
Yep.
Showcase
It's great to be here. You bet.
Don Lucia, the commissioner of the CCHA, joining us. Timeout here and a 2-1 lead for Michigan Tech. We'll be back right after this.
What's the best environment to study the environment? At Bemidji State University, it's not in the classroom or in a lab, but in the actual environment, in the fields and in the forests, and on more than 400 lakes within 25 miles of our campus. What can the North Woods teach you? Find out at Bemidji State University.
My brothers and I were raised on Husky hockey, so the chance to play together on this team means a lot. They tell you the classes at Tech will be hard, and that is no joke. There are always distractions, hard classes, tough games, but when I step in the crease, all that disappears. I always knew I wanted to play for Michigan Tech. The team, the fans, all of Husky hockey is a legacy I'm proud to play for.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Chow freshly baked bread piled high with Italian-style meats and provolone. Hey to you too, hand-sliced veggies. Oil and vinegar, oregano and basil, nice to see ya. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yes. Should I see someone about that? Probably. Jimmy John's, order online or on the app.
You know the right move for you. Learn a trade and earn a good living. Northwest Technical College can be the best right move you'll ever make. Get the education and training you need for high-demand, well-paying jobs, working in an office, running your own business, caring for children, and more. Join nearly 1,000 students at Northwest Technical College who are taking the classes they need to move up, not move over. Northwest Technical College. Learn today, earn tomorrow.
Welcome back inside of the Sanford Center in a 2-1 hockey game. Michigan Tech with a lead with 9:43 to go in this second period. Fourth all-time playoff meeting between these two. They met in the CCHA semifinal in 22. Bemidji won 5-2. WCHA quarterfinals. Bemidji State won both those games, and in the 2018 WCHA quarterfinals, Michigan Tech won those 2 games.
You want to talk about a game of adjustments?
I do.
Bemidji State comes out and really takes control, right, to start the period. Well, Tech recognizes that. What do? They start stretching the zone. And they got guys flying out of the zone. What's that do? That opens up everything. And it creates more space. And we've seen them get up the ice twice, especially on the Mosley goal, which was a beautiful goal. But it's a game of adjustments, Ben.
Love talking with Mosley early in the week as we did. And I like doing with college guys. I have all the years I've done the sport. Who do you like to watch at the NHL level?
Oh, right.
Remember who he said? Braden Point of the Tampa Bay Lightning.
And was that not Braden Point?
It was Braden Point-esque.
What a move.
Yeah.
He pulled it back, went to his backhand.
Yep.
And he beats Matthias Scholl to give that Huskies a 2-1 lead here. 9:22 left in this second period.
And Joe Sean has that line back out there. Mosley on right wing, Pietila. And the CCHA Roy, the Rookie of the Year, Isaac Gordon back out. But this was touched in the bench area with 9:15 to play in the period. Shots are 17-15 in favor of Michigan Tech. They lead where it counts 2-1.
Hey, listen, this is an elimination game, right?
Right.
How many times have we said loser goes home, winner goes on?
Yeah.
And Joe Sean is going to play his best players. And that top line has been dangerous. Every time they've stepped on the ice tonight, he's double shifted them and putting them out at an opportune time where they get the right matchups, and they've been really good.
Mask came off. It's not often you get a look at the goaltenders, but there's a look at Matthias Scholl out of Hermosa Beach, California, the 2000 birth year. Looking for his 39th career win, and goaltender of the year this year. Last year it was Pietila. These two guys have been carrying the flag the last 2 years.
And Bemidji's been a different team since his return from injury.
They have. 21st game started in the last 22 for this Beaver team. 9-0-1 in the 11-game unbeaten streak with a 1.87 and a 922 save percentage. The 11-game unbeaten streak is the longest in program history and currently the longest in college hockey. Now Michigan Tech, they want more. Right pad save there from this goaltender out of California. Gordon gets in there, knocked down by Magnuson. Now Kyle Loft ahead for Leighton Road. Top line against top line here. Centering feed. Good stick on the back end. They were looking for Martin there, number 11. Now Pietila into space for Mosley. Challenge back there by Magnuson. Loaf trying to swing and knock that down with a baseball swing there at waist height. Now Martin out at center trying to chip it around the defenseman. That's Jed Pietila. One of 4 on the roster. 9 all-time have played at Michigan Tech. Jed's a cousin of Blake and Logan and Chase.
And we hear there's more.
You got all that right? Yeah. That's what I said to Blake. We started the call. I said, so are there more on the way? He said, they're always on the way at Michigan Tech. Proud family. It's great. Here's Rasmussen now. Centers. Good luck there. Off the shoulder there. And Kukkonen with a good look there. The right shoulder save from Matthias Scholl. Now Bemidji State quickly across for their goal scorer. Casper Magnuson gets a step, gets in. Coming back, though. Good job hustling back there was Russell. The defenseman for Michigan Tech outside of the line now. Wolf on to Polkamp. Rims it around. Russell to it first for the Huskies. Back there on the defense pair with Campbell. Beavers getting in there. Showing a little bite. There's a good low shot, and it's gobbled up right between the pads of Blake Pietila with 7.5 to go in the period.
Yeah, that one kind of deflected. I don't know if it hit the ice and then right into his body, but tough save to make there for Pietila.
Here's a look, Pat.
Yeah, watch this right from the point there. A quick shot, just kind of bounced up. And Pietila held his ground and was able to hold on.
Ozone draw for Bemidji State. And looks like that play was,
offside.
Yep, it was. Wolf sent the puck in. Michigan Tech has it. Pascapurdy had it, 14. There's a ton of Finnish pride in the UP of Michigan. Part of their heritage up there. Polkamp now with some speed. Comes in, pulls the trigger, and a shot that's fought off with the right shoulder there by Blake Pietila.
You know, all these guys can shoot the puck, but I mean, you
this
see
kid's different.
Yeah, you see Polkamp come down. He just pulled it back, snaps it off quick, and I don't know if Pietila saw that, hit him in the shoulder.
He's a special player.
You know, Bemidji State down 2-1, 6:59 left in this period. You know, this is a time where on the bench you're telling your team, stay with it, stay with it. You know, get that next one, tie this thing up. You got to keep on playing. This is a 60-minute game or more.
Yep.
But you got to stay. You got to stay with it. You can't get down, and it's all about rebounding. How are you going to respond now?
As you can hear, the fans not in favor of that call, but it's the way it goes sometimes. It's going to come back into the Beavers' end for a D-zone draw for them. Won by Bemidji State. Loaf couldn't get it out. Knocked down. Here's Pietila with a bullet. Trying to go blocker side. The Karam sends it all the way back down into the Husky end. Jopi out there with Judding. This line's been good. Solid group. But the fourth line of Bemidji State, they've scored in 8 straight games. They're not out there now, but that's Chiddington, McLean, and Lawson.
Boy, and if you can get scoring from your bottom 6.
Kidding me? Well, they've gotten the 1 goal from the Judding line, which is, it's listed as their third line for whatever that's worth. Sometimes coaches don't list them the way they play them, but it's listed as their third line. Yep. Corcoran went down on the half wall. No call. We've yet to have a penalty in this game. It's been a clean game. Both teams playing hard. Ryland Mosley out of suburban Ottawa said at a young age he really didn't know anything about college hockey like most Canadians from Ontario. He wanted to be in the OHL, but he found a chance, and he is happy to be at Michigan Tech, and he's got his team on top here. 2-1, 5.5 to go in the period. Campbell now off a stick and up into the netting, and a face-off forthcoming.
Boy, turnover in their own zone again by Bemidji State led to another Michigan Tech opportunity. You've got to be careful, especially when you get right above the top of the circle. Got to make sure that puck's out of the zone. There was a time there where both Bemidji State players kind of skated away from the puck. Gave Tech a good opportunity.
Another O-zone draw here for the Huskies. Skated out of there by Adam Flamang, but quickly forced right back in to the Beaver end. Polkamp sending it through the corner. Kukin in there trying to keep it in. Polkamp gets back to it. He tried to play it ahead, turned it over. Kadaroff gets it in deep now. He'll go in and pressure the defenseman Wolf. Wolf gets it up to Flamang, trying to go cross ice there. They were looking in the direction over there of Carter Jones. Now Campbell across the line. Kadaroff sweeps it in deep. Line change here for Michigan Tech. Fourth line out now for the Huskies. Nordstrom, Richards, and Bartle. Bartle. Chase Pietila. Good look ahead. Nordstrom steers that into the zone. Fulmer missed on the pass there, was looking in the vicinity of Dante Lawson. Slowed by Blake Pietila for Jed. He sends it around. Now another race for it here. And they're going to call this icing with 4:16 remaining in the period. Look there at Kyle Loaf, the fifth-year guy, playing in his 169th game out of Mankato, Minnesota. Somehow Tom Serratori got him out of Maverick territory and up here in the northern part of the state, didn't he?
And he's a man.
He is.
You know, he's 25 years old.
Yes.
I mean, we saw
He's
him.
a 98.
Yeah, we saw him today. You know,
Yes.
I mean, he's a man.
He is.
And he's played really well. Second on the team in scoring at 28 points.
Yep. Good challenge there, and that's an area that you and I talked about really with both these teams. They're more mature teams for the most part. And I bring that up because over the years you see teams of this that are built the way these two are, as Scholl makes the stop and covers up. You see them go to the tournament and have success. And I bring it up specifically because you look at basketball last night, Kentucky, a bunch of 18-year-olds, and they get beat in the first round by a veteran team. My point is, whoever plays the winner of this game is going to have their hands full in the tournament.
Without a doubt. And Ben, you're talking the difference between an 18-year-old and a 22, 23, 24-year-old in love.
Yeah.
You know, it's that maturity, the strength, the patience that the older guy has.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it makes a ton of difference.
Sure does.
You know, sometimes, you know, that 22, 23-year-old might not be as talented as the 18-year-old, but when you're playing in games like this that are critical, you know, they just know how to handle things a little bit better.
Jopi plays it back. Kyle Loaf. Watched there tightly by Jack Works. 3:20 to go in the period. 2-1 the road team, Michigan Tech. In their own zone now. Handled back there by Trevor Russell. Looks for a little bit of help. Good pressure here from Judding. Puck goes up and out of play with 3:08 remaining.
Well, one of the things Tom Serratori talked about was you know, of getting the pucks in deep. He knew that Michigan Tech plays a 1-3-1, right? So you want to get pucks behind them. While they didn't in the first period so much, they started to a little bit in the second period. But what he was fearful of when they dumped the puck in was his forwards would get caught in between, meaning they were getting beat to the puck, right?
Yeah.
And then what happens then is that it gives Michigan Tech defensemen all the time in the world to make that outlet pass right away. And we saw on the Mosley goal, you know, how they stretch the zone, got up the ice. Mosley makes a great play and scores. So, you know, it's all about making sure that when you do get the puck in, that you have guys going hard and you are going to beat the defender to the puck.
Kirkland Irie back to get it. Slings it ahead. Martin can't get to it. Williams got in there first. Nick Williams out of Edina, Minnesota. Gets it back now, sweeping it ahead for Rylan Mosley. Kohlkamp slows him up, takes him down. Puck free at center. Gordon couldn't handle it. Got a stick on it, getting it inside of the zone. Chase Pietila going to hammer that one in. Looks like it deflected out of play. It did. We'll have a draw coming up at center with 2:22 to play in the period. Bemidji State, the top seed. They won the league by 9 points. Finally got that
you
cup.
want to talk about a weird year in this league. I mean, there was a point in time where St. Thomas was in first.
Bowling Green was in first.
Bowling Green was in first.
Right up top.
Tech was in first.
Yeah.
Bemidji was in first. And, you know, everything kind of flip-flopped.
No call.
The last couple of weeks of the season.
Yeah.
But this league was extremely tight.
Competitive.
Yeah. all season long.
Well, Joe Sean told us when we chatted with him midweek, he said the series when we went to Bowling Green, he felt was one of their turning points.
Right.
To get them on track because Bowling Green was rolling and Tech had four
right.
guys out.
And on the road.
On the road, too, and they smoked them.
And like as you mentioned, they had guys out of lineup.
Yep.
And all of a sudden, his team came together then, right?
Yep.
They're like, okay, you know, we need everybody now.
Yeah.
4 guys out. Other guys stepped in and did the job, and it was a big weekend for them.
Icing call here. And, you know, on the other side, Tom Serratori and his guys, with the start they had, and they had guys out, it allowed their team to build some more depth, right? Because guys got to come in the lineup, right? And I think that was one thing that, you know, he was proud of his group for doing.
And guys are always looking for an opportunity, right?
Next man up.
Next man, you know, you want to get on that power play or penalty kill or, you know, a little bit more time, 5-on-5.
Yep. Here's a chance for Works off a skate. Tracked down on the far side there by Max Koskaperty. Works sliding down. No special teams in this game to this point. No penalties have been called. 70 seconds remaining here in the middle period of play, and a 2-1 lead for Michigan Tech here on the road. A bit of a chess match here lately. A couple of icings here and there.
You know, the game slowed down a little
It
bit.
has.
You know, again, you know, not a lot of room out there to make plays.
Right.
You know, we're seeing a lot of pucks dumped in, dumped out, icings. A minute left in this period. Offensive zone face-off. Bemidji State wants to pull this back to Polkamp like they did. We saw him score a goal like that against Lake State last week.
Missile.
Right off the draw.
Yep.
That time he couldn't hold on to the puck.
Loft went down. He looked at both referees. No call. We play on. 45 seconds to go in the period now. The Beavers here, the home crowd, looking to get this game level. Funny bounce off the corner glass. Seamless glass here in Bemidji. No stanchions. Steered in by Bronte. Half a minute to go in the period now. Polkamp sweeping it on for Loft. Flings it up the right wing. Leighton Road cannot get to it, and another icing with 22.4 to go.
The third one we've had here
Yeah.
in the last minute. And, you know, again, that's kind of situational awareness. You know, you don't have a play, get it out, and live to fight another day. And I think we've seen that from both teams, just trying to be a little bit more cautious here late in the period.
Once the period's complete, we'll talk with Bemidji State forward Jackson Judding down at ice level. He's out there on the ice now. Puck centered. Logan Pietila didn't get there before Judding did. Final seconds here in the period. Polkamp ahead for Kyle Loaf. Loaf for the shot, and that one's punched down at the horn. And we have played 40 minutes here, Pat Micheletti, in the Mason Cup final. And the visitors from Houghton, Michigan, way up in the Keweenaw of the great state of Michigan, have a 2-1 lead here on the home squad, Bemidji State.
Pretty good period. I thought it was a pretty evenly played period, Ben. Bemidji State came out, you know, with a lot of energy, got to their forecheck, and you know, was really good to start the period. and then Tech came back, and you know, Mosley with the beautiful goal that he scored, and now here we are, 2-1, 20 to go.
Indeed the case, and Mason Cup on the lines in the building. It'll be presented tonight to the champion of this tournament, champion here in the CCHA tournament. Great to have you with us wherever you're watching, and we're going to go downstairs momentarily once we get the thumbs up that Jackson Judding is with us, and I believe he is now with us. Jackson, can you hear us down there?
I can.
Great. Thanks for your time. We really appreciate it. What's the feel out there through 40 in your mind and the club's team, in the club's mind?
Hey, Jackson, what adjustments did you make after the first period? You guys seemed to turn the puck over a lot in that first period. Much, much better. Got to your forecheck in the second period. All right, down 2-1. What do you do in the third?
Simple enough. Thanks for your time, Jackson. We'll let you get in with your team and get ready for the all-important third period.
Yep,
You're
thanks.
welcome. Jackson Judding and Tom Saratori talked at length about him all week and heard from him during the week at their media
his
sessions.
Teammates, you know? I mean, they said, this
they
is
love
the guy.
him.
This guy, I mean, he'll do anything.
Tom just said, he goes, I don't know what it is, but he's got it.
Yeah.
He's that kind of young man and special young player for their team.
And those guys are hard to find. I
Yeah.
mean, they really are. I mean, he blocks shots, he plays well defensively, contributes offensively, is a good leader, and just one of those guys that a coach likes to use the word trust.
Right.
Right? And he's a guy that you can put on the ice at any time and trust them.
You had a lot of trust when you played, didn't you? From
No,
your
I don't
coaches?
know if I did or not. Maybe in the offensive side. I didn't know my own end very well, but it's for another day.
Anyways.
It's over. That was a long time ago.
We
right?
digress, yes.
Yeah, we do.
2 periods in the books. Michigan Tech playing for their first ever CCHA tournament title, as are the Beavers of Bemidji State. Michigan Tech's got a 2-1 lead. We'll take a timeout, come back with more of our second intermission here from Bemidji, Minnesota.
It's been a little bit different type of team this year compared to some of the past. We're in the past we normally got off to good starts. We had good non-conference records. This year we never won a game through October. We had a couple of ties in there, but never won a game through October. So this year has been a growing process for the team in a lot of ways, and you know, thank goodness we've had great leadership throughout and an incredible chemistry within the locker room. I've said many times, I feel more connected with these players collectively than probably with any group I've ever been around in, you know, my 35 years of coaching. It's just a great group that I feel I know individually throughout the roster. We were picked to win the league, and you know, that poll came out, timings, everything came out, you know, the immediately, basically when the Piedras announced they were coming back. And you know, when you return first team All-American goaltender, and then you look at you know, the potential of what people thought was you know, our first line with Mosley and Kukkonen and Logan Piedla. Without looking at our defensive core, we didn't have a player that had played a full season of Division I hockey on the backside. A couple of transfers in there, several freshmen in there, you know, a few veterans in there, but we didn't have a guy that played 34 games total in his career, let alone in a single year. So that was tough. I think that was tough for Blake early as well, the types of scoring chances that he was getting, things like that, odd man rushes, inability to transition the puck. Then I think there was a little bit of a weight that the guys felt with feeling like there were all these expectations. We should be this, we should be that, and the reality of it is we were what we were. We had some pretty good forwards, we had good goaltending, we had a D that had to grow. So all in all, I think that I'd have to say without question it's been the evolution of our D, and some of that has occurred because of injury. We had, you know, like everybody went through an injury bug where we had several key guys out. A few of them being defensemen, and that forced us to play like a Nick Williams, who's stepped in and now he's probably most would consider our top pairing. So it's been our D for sure. When I went to Northern and worked a bit at Northern, you know, there was more of a connection, older school, and the city was more connected. But at Houghton and at Michigan Tech, the community is Michigan Tech. You know, homecoming for Michigan Tech is homecoming for the community. Winter Carnival for Michigan Tech is Winter Carnival for the community. The community has grown with the institution. I couldn't even tell you which one's older. I would assume the city's older overall, but you know, the university being 120 years old, whatever, the hockey program over 100 years, it's one and the same. And so many traditions have carried over from over decades and over a century of hockey that you know. When we're at home, the best part about it in a lot of ways is that we really feel every loss. We feel that we owe it to the community to perform every game. We feel every loss. You know, I remember Red Berenson telling me one time years ago, you know, I asked him, Red, do you ever think about retiring? And he said, every time we lose. It was a great comment. And you do. I mean, you wake up with that gut feeling on Sunday morning, and then it's time to get back to work, to regroup and get back to work. But you can walk out and you can see some of the misfits or band members will walk by. A great game coach will get them, you know, we'll get them next time. They're there for the event, for the entertainment, and that's the part that they offer us, the lift, that positiveness. You know, there's never a negative side coming out of out of what we feel on the bench from the energy that's brought to us throughout the building.
right, we welcome you back here inside of the Sanford Center here in Bemidji, Minnesota. It's a 2-1 lead for the visiting Michigan Tech Huskies here in the CCHA Championship game and the Mason Cup final. Pat Micheletti is going to slide in here a little bit with me. Pat, I want to talk about Ron Mason a little bit here before we get to the highlights. And
I have bad memories of Ron Mason.
I know you do,
right?
and we both have our own stories. I'm going to let
Gentleman, great guy.
You go first.
Got to know. Yeah, and well, he beat us in 1985.
Ouch.
Right, but he had one heck of a team, and he's done so much. Did so much for college hockey.
Yeah.
We were talking to Don Lucia today, and when he was a young coach in Fairbanks, and who did he call?
Great story. Yeah.
He called Ron Mason.
He did.
Ron, what
do I do?
Should I take this job or should I take this job? And he said, you want to be a head coach.
Right.
Don't leave where you're at. And and look at Don's career, right?
Yeah.
But he shaped so many young coaches.
He did.
From George Gwozdecki to I could go on and on.
Laundry list
of assistants who became head coaches, and in the coaching fraternity, you help. And Ron Mason helped a lot of people, get great careers in this game.
So I grew up in Lansing, Michigan.
Yes.
And
I'm still mad at him for beating us.
My buddies.
But maybe it was my fault.
It could have been. Anything's possible.
Yeah, it probably was.
Kidding. My buddies and I used to go out to Munn Arena. We'd ride our mopeds out there, and we'd go in the back hallway by the locker room and take broken sticks, and he'd catch us. And I told Ron this years ago when in some work back in Michigan when he'd come on broadcast with us routinely. He loves to come on and talk. And I always told him, I said, I idolized your team and your players as a kid more than I idolized the Red Wings back then, and that's the truth. And I remember he wore those leather gloves. He wore hockey gloves. And I worked in Lansing for 6 years and was around him a lot. Was there when he left and became the AD, and such a great honor to have the cup named after Ron Mason, the former Spartan and Bowling Green head coach and Lake Superior coach.
And the thing is, he was such a good recruiter.
Yeah.
And the really good players wanted to play for him.
They did.
And that's why his programs were so good year in and year out. And you build that reputation as a good coach, a good human, and guys want to play for you.
Yeah, no doubt about it. All right, so a little tribute there and thought on Ron Mason from Pat Micheletti, myself, and thanks for letting us share that. It's always fun to talk about one of the greats of our sport of college hockey. We have a lot of pride in that. And we hope you're enjoying the broadcast here on Flow Sports. We want to take a look back at some of the highlights in this game. Michigan Tech, Pat, as we get her back onto the game. We got a third period to come. Here's what happened in period 2.
Yeah, it was a much, much better period for Bemidji. They started to generate some offense, but then, Michigan Tech recognizes it, and, they bring it back. So it was, we talked about the ebbs and flows of a game and what happens.
Yeah.
And, we saw it. It was a pretty good period. Back into the period, started to slow down a little bit. I think both teams were getting a little bit cautious. 2-1 game, right?
Yep.
And we saw great individual play by Evan Mosley and Rylan Mosley.
Yep.
Yeah, excuse me. And great players make great plays, and that was a great play to put Michigan Tech up. Watch this here.
Look at that.
I mean, he goes from his forehand to his backhand. Nice stretch pass here.
Great angle.
And to score like that with a backhand, that is skill. Not every player can do that. And he put it past Matthias Scholl, and here we are, 2-1.
All right, we'll take a timeout, and we'll come back and get the third period underway. Someone's hoisting the Mason Cup here tonight in northern Minnesota. Will it be Bemidji State on home ice? Will it be Michigan Tech? Right now, the Huskies, after 40 with the third around the corner, lead it 2-1.
Why he came back, right?
Yep. Kyle Loaf, the fifth-year senior captain out of Mankato, hoists the cup over his head.
Hockey fans, please show your appreciation to the 2023-24 CCHA regular season champion, your Bemidji State University Beavers!
Yeah, I mean, when you're making that decision on whether to come back for your fifth year, you definitely look at the team and what you think you can do. And I would say that we could imagine this. We've won the McNaughton Cup now, and now we got a chance to win the Mason. We knew that we had a good team coming back, but obviously a lot of pieces have to fall into place, and they did. So we come together as a group and got it done so far in the regular season. Then giving ourselves a chance here tomorrow night. Your 4 years here plays a role in your decision on coming back, right? And I've absolutely loved every second of being here. The coaching staff has been so good to me, whether it's through the recruiting process, getting here, developing me as a person and a player, and then the community, the school, the teammates that I've had. It just puts a smile on my face because you know how much you love it and what it means to you now, and made the decision to come back a little easier. Sitting out is never fun, especially when you're injured. Obviously. You try to stick with that same mindset of how can you help the team, but it's a little tougher when you're injured. But it's so nerve-wracking when you're not out there and you're just watching. You can't really do anything about it, but you still have trust in the guys and what they're doing out there. But it was tough. It's been very special to us. We want to play in front of great crowds, especially our own. It gives us energy, and we feed off that. When you get individual awards, it normally means that your team is doing really well. So it's especially as many as we got. So I think that's the special part of it. A bunch of individuals got some awards, and in the end, the best one we've got so far is McNaughton, and we're working towards another one tomorrow, and that's what makes it special. I've learned a lot from just being here, whether it's from the coaching staff or the captains that I had before me. And to be able to use that experience and try to keep building that Bemidji State hockey culture that's been so great for so many years. Just passing that down, it means a ton. And just knowing that this group has, they've really bought into that, the culture, the buy-in to winning, and just being a good person overall, off the ice, on the ice. It's been very special.
And welcome back inside of the Sanford Center. Ben Holden, Pat Micheletti, all of our crew. Big thanks to them. Big thanks to our group at the CCHA for all their help and preparing us and helping us all week. Pat, the numbers through 40, what stands out?
No penalties. Neither team has had a power play yet.
Surprised?
You know what? Both teams are playing hard. They're playing clean. Now, could there have been a call, both ways?
Has there been even one that you feel could have been?
Nothing egregious. So,
Yeah,
you know what?
I agree.
If it's not egregious, don't call it.
Refs don't want to be a part of it.
They don't want to be a
They
part of
don't.
it. And, their thought process and the coaches and the players, let us play the game. And they are letting them play the game. And so, other than that, shots pretty even. 21-18 for Michigan Tech. But I tell you what, it's been a pretty even game. And now it comes down to, hey,
here we go.
Who wants it more?
Yep.
Right? Who wants it more? And we shall see in the next 20.
Michigan Tech 11-2-1 when leading after 2. Bemidji State 3-13 when trailing after 2. But they did win a playoff game earlier this run against Ferris State. So those are the particulars. Underway here in the third. The winner gets the Mason Cup, the CCHA tournament title, and the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. Opening 20 seconds here in the third period. Full house here in Bemidji, Minnesota on a Friday night. Here's a chance, and loafed right into space, Pat. He slipped right in and got a grade A chance.
Boy, he found that open area and received that pass from Judding and one-timed it, and wow. Pietila just comes out. Watch Pietila just stay square to the puck and was able to make that save. Great opportunity early in the first 30 seconds here for Bemidji.
Ozone draw for the Beavers. On the end wall. Road in there, 29 in white. This top group out for Tom Serratori. 23rd year he's been the head coach here in Bemidji, Minnesota, of the school he once played for. for the great Bob Peters back in the day. Here's Polkamp. Probably not going to see him off the ice a whole lot here in this
I don't
third.
think so.
Regardless of what the score is. A minute gone. Jack works. Stick went flying. That was Polkamp's stick, who went about 20 feet. He gathers it. Low shot. Pad save from Scholl. Now Polkamp. Puck on edge. Able to get it ahead now. Leighton Rowe. This kid can fly. Here he comes. But off the stick there of the defenseman, Kasper Vaharadio, up and out of play. 1:19 gone in the period.
Well, Bemidji State dodged one there. They had the puck. They had control of the puck, easy control of the puck in their own end. They went side to side instead of going up north, and they got caught. A couple good opportunities there for the Huskies, and Matthias Scholl had to come up with 2 big saves.
Carter Jones trying to get it free in the corner against Chase Pianola. Chase Pianola, 6'3" and 190. Product of Howell, Michigan. Inside of Detroit, about 45 minutes from downtown Detroit. Battle continues here. Nothing there. Bemidji faithful wanted a call. They don't get it. Here's a centering attempt, and Jones was there. Carter Jones just couldn't get enough on it.
Boy, he gets anything on that thing. That's an easy tap in for him.
That's a Pat Micheletti goal going to the blue paint.
It really was.
Got to go hard to the paint, especially now. One of these two teams, their season will end tonight. The other will go on to the NCAA tournament. Couple of upsets today. Could very well affect where whichever team gets the auto bid here in this game goes and what they're seeded. We'll see how things play out the remainder of the weekend. This, of course, the only championship game of the night here on Friday night. Knocked free, just out of the reach there, top of the circle. They were trying to get it to Jopi there, who's had a really good game. Hard-working player is number 22. Now Kyle Loaf, the fifth-year senior, comes and shoots. And Blake Pianola saw that one cleanly into the trapper.
Yeah, notice where that shot came from, right inside the blue line. Tech doing a good job of keeping everything to the outside. That's what here you're going to see Loaf come down, take that shot. Pianola scored to the puck. Easy to see. Grabs it, holds on to it. But Tech has done a great job. There's only been a couple times tonight that I've seen where Bemidji State has been able to get anything in that slot area. Everything has kind of been to the outside.
Mm-hmm.
You know, they did score their goal.
Here comes Irie now. He's got Martin with him. He didn't miss by much there, Pat.
No, he uses defenseman as a screen and just missed the net.
Here's Rode. Good defensive work down there on the goal line by Matthew Campbell. Campbell in a North Vancouver, British Columbia. Same hometown as Connor Bedard. Macklin Celebrini at BU's from there as well. A hockey hotbed out there in Vancouver. Here's Ryland Mosley from the province of Ontario, from Ottawa, suburban Ottawa. His goal in the second period is the difference in this game right now. 3.5 gone here in the third. Jack works. Navigates around Chase Pianola, now leaves it for Chase. Pianola off the center ice boards. Bronte was in the neighborhood. Puck goes in deep. Low for the good job of finishing his check there on Jack Works, but this Works, he does that, man. He's just going all the time. Nice hit by him in the corner. Now he couldn't get it to settle. Bronte goes back to him. Works now. Loaf knocked it off his stick. Knocked down by Bronte. Back in deep on the end wall. Chase Pianola trying to keep it in there against Chiddington. Works. Good job. They kept it in. Kataroff kept it in. Here's a shot. Kataroff went right in front of Scholl, and Scholl had no chance to see it. Kukkonen now feeds the line. Chase Pianola. Wristing. One tipped and a great right pad save. And Rasmussen got a piece of that.
Well, I tell you what, Scholl was, what quick reaction there. Just kicked out that right leg and made the save.
Now the Huskies, here they come. Kukkonen's got room, centered it. Kataroff was there. Couldn't get that stick blade opened up enough. Maybe a situation there, Pat, where Kukkonen maybe should have shot that puck. What do you think?
Absolutely.
Now the Beavers trying to get it out of their own zone, but the Huskies are there, persistent. Big Katarov out there. Now Jed Pietola trying to fire one up the middle. Väisänen intercepted it though. And Yuri Väisänen deep dump in out of him.
Good push here by the Huskies.
Now Logan Pietola. Twin brother wears 31. We asked him, is that intentional that you're the invert at 13? He said no, just by chance. Logan's got 13 game winners in his career. That leads college hockey. Little tug there.
Oh boy, a couple tugs.
Yeah, Mosley. No call. Beavers trying to get the crowd into it here at home. Huskies fans, they're fighting right back with a cheer of their own. They got a pretty good contingent here. They travel well.
They really do. They brought their band. They're talking to some of the fans today. They were just so excited for this game tonight.
Yeah.
And why not, right?
Yep. A lot of them at our hotel. Martin inside of the line. Loaf with another look, and that's an easy stop for Pietola. But Loaf gets an ozone draw out of that with 13:58 remaining in the third.
Boy, it makes Pietola's job a lot easier when his defensemen and his forwards do a great job of clearing things out so he can see the puck. One thing Bemidji has to do, they got to try to get more guys to the front of the net and kind of block the eyes of Pietola. But credit Michigan Tech, and their defensemen tonight have been really, really good.
Another one from Pietola there with a glove.
Yeah, and he's going to make those saves all day.
Yep.
I mean, he's played how many games? He's played how many big games?
141 now.
Right.
Amazing.
And to beat a good goaltender like that, you've got to talk to him. You've got to get you got to get in front of him.
Yep.
You got to cause havoc and just create some chaos in front of him. Make it hard for him.
Magnuson down the wall. That one stung Williams.
And that's easier said than done when your team is defending so well in front of them.
Loaf getting it in deep. Down into the corner for the Bemidji State goal scorer, Kasper Magnuson, product of Norway. Gave his side the 1-0 lead. Chase Pietola tied it. Ryland Mosley, tough angle shot. We saw a lot of those early. We haven't seen a lot of this, but I suspect it will continue in the final 13.
Well, now the message is throw everything on net. But, credit Pietola again there. No rebound, right?
Yep.
And he was tracking that puck extremely well. Because that shot came from, about 5 to 8 feet from the corner, almost right on the goal line, Ben.
Yeah.
And, he was there and was able to hold on to it. And those pucks start, when it bounces, you don't know where it's going to go. And Pietola's doing a good job of just making sure he's holding on to that puck.
Here's Isaac Gordon trying to get it to Mosley. Heavy hit there by Polkamp on Gordon. Puck back inside the Michigan Tech end now. Jed Pietola. Funny bounce for him there, but Mosley able to get to it. Lays it back now for the defenseman Russell. Floats it into the corner. Polkamp and Gordon, they collide. Now Irie trying to work it ahead for Leighton Road. Leighton Road, White Bear Lake, Minnesota product. Down to the ice goes Gordon there in a collision with Fulmer. Played ahead now for Eric Martin. Martin trying to step on the gas here, but a good job coming back there by Nordstrom. Good work out of Nordstrom there. Picked the pocket, but then he had his pocket picked by Carter Jones. Chase Pietola. Richards, fourth line out there. Funny bounce. Michigan Tech sent it in. Of course, it was in the semifinal much later in the game last week. They ended up winning the game on a funny bounce when the puck was shot in wide. They sweep it in here, and they get the change they want to. Michigan Tech nearing the 8-minute mark here in the third. 2-1 the road team in black, Michigan Tech. And offside called here with 12:02 to play in the period.
Yeah, you saw Väisänen make that move right at the blue line. And once he makes a move, either to his right or to his left, that changes everything with the other two forwards.
Right.
They think he's going in the zone. He moves to his left a little bit, stays on the blue line, causes the offside. Good job by Tech. 3 guys lined up right across that blue line, forced Weissenen to make a move that he didn't necessarily want to make.
Shots are dead even at 23. We're under 12 to go here in the third. Bemidji State looking for the equalizer. Michigan Tech continues to be very persistent. Good on the forecheck. Punched away there with a blocker by Scholl. Loft onto his partner, Will Magnuson. Magnuson, rink-wide look. Tended target over there. Dante Lawson. Pietala's got this one. A draw coming up again in the O-zone for Bemidji State.
So 11:34 left in this game. 2-1 Huskies. You know, if you're Bemidji, you don't change anything yet. You want to stick to your game plan that I think is going to work for you. And you know, because there's still plenty of time left.
Oh, yeah.
In a 1-goal game like this, you just gotta stay with it.
Yuri Weissenen on to take this big draw in the O-zone. Warning issued there to Michigan Tech. At the dot, Arvid Katarov, the big Swede, 6'5" and 220.
Oh.
Body's hitting the deck. Out to center, gloved on by Eric Polkamp. Out there with Mitch Wolf, Carter Jones. Couldn't get it through Kyle Kukkonen. Kukkonen's first game back in a little over 2 months. He's injured. Awkward play into the boards up in Houghton when these two teams met the third week of January. Had never missed a game in his career prior to that, in his young career. Weissenen now walks the wall, puts on the brakes, trying to shake Chase Pietala. Katarov comes in to help out. Pietala into the fray in there.
Great job of defending there by Tech. Weissenen had nowhere to go with the puck, didn't have any help, and he gets eliminated on the sideboards. Tech gets control of the puck and right out.
Tony Fulmer dumped it in for the Beavers. Now long stretch pass for Isaac Gordon. Gordon, he's got Mosley with him. Those two each with 18 on the year. Mosley's goal right now, the difference in this game.
And that line has been terrific tonight for Michigan Tech.
Many have said to you and I in the last few weeks, we knew we were doing this game. That line might be the best in the league as Pietala had to make a stop. And then Magnuson was coming down the left side. He's camped out in front. Big 28, turning, shooting. Gordon softly off the glass, glove down by Will Magnuson.
And that time, Bemidji State had 2 guys in front of the net. Difficult for Pietala to pick up the puck, almost scored.
Up the wing, Jopi comes in, shoots. Magnuson there, Casper in front. Casper 28, Will 5. No relation.
Yeah, another guy who's been really good tonight for Bemidji State.
Yeah, he really has.
I mean, he's made plays all night long.
9.5 to go. 26-24 the shots Bemidji, but they trail 2-1. Up top to Polkamp. Now it's Wolf. Wolf trying to get it through traffic. Gordon, good challenge. Now Irie up high, shoots. Steered away by Blake Pietala. Polkamp down in the corner. Laid it back, now Road with a chance, and there's Pietala once again. Johnny on the spot to make that stop. Now Wolf, challenged by Works. Wolf steps on the gas, gets it in deep. He'll go in deep after it. Up the wall, not out, Fulmer. Slides it down to Martin. Martin had it steered away, Campbell got a piece of it. Now Works, gets it out of the zone, and it slides all the way back on Scholl.
Yeah, now the push is coming from Bemidji State.
Sure is. 11-game unbeaten streak for Bemidji State, the longest in Division I hockey. They've won 9 in a row. Michigan Tech, they've won 4 straight. They're 4-1 in the month of March. They're 6-1-0 in their last 7. Crowd getting into it.
Oh.
Turned over. Scholl's got it. And he'll cover with 8:16 to go in this third period. Don't go anywhere. Mason Cup final. The championship here in the CCHA is on the line. We'll be back right after this.
know the right move for you. Learn a trade and earn a good living. Northwest Technical College can be the best right move you'll ever make. Get the education and training you need for high-demand, well-paying jobs, working in an office, running your own business, caring for children, and more. Join nearly 1,000 students at Northwest Technical College who are taking the classes they need to move up, not move over. Northwest Technical College. Learn today, earn tomorrow.
Oh, hello, Italian nightclub from Jimmy John's. Ciao, freshly baked bread piled with Italian-style meats. Hey, hand-sliced veggies. Am I obsessed with this sandwich? Yeah. So what if I am? Jimmy John's. Order online or on the app.
Cue the Metallica. Here we go. 8:16 to go. Sellout crowd here in Bemidji. The home team down by one, 8:10 and counting to go in this one. Jones couldn't pull the trigger there. Good defensive play back there by the Huskies. Now Chase Pietola into space, but he's going to be called for an icing with 7:56 to go, Pat.
Under 8 to go, Tech up by a goal.
Yep.
Joe was on the bench telling his team, keep playing. Keep playing. Don't sit back. Don't stand around. Because you do that, Bemidji State will attack you.
Yep, they will. Both teams, their benches, everyone's up. As you would expect here in a championship game. Grinding away on the end wall and in the corner. Polkamp down the wall for Bemidji State, trying to get it free. Kataroff, though.
Boy, he's a big boy.
He is 6'5", 220, and a big, long reach. Good-looking hockey player. Of course, Tech's had a few big guys over the years. John Scott played there a few years ago. Remember him?
Oh, do I ever.
Chris
yes.
Durno is another guy. Big size and stature back in his day. I'm sure there are many others, but those are a couple that come to mind as Pietola makes another stop, his 28th of the game.
Yeah, you see he got out to the top of the blue paint here. Wolf is going to take this shot from the point. Look how far out he came.
Yeah.
Two guys in front for Bemidji, but that tip then went about, I don't know, 3 inches right into him.
Right.
And that's because he came out and challenged that shot.
Rolling puck slides back into the zone. Kyle Loft. Ryland Mosley out there. Jopi back to Loft on that pass from Rode. Just missing. Jackson Judding firing away in the corner. Chance for Magnuson, and he puts the stick on his head saying, oh, I want that one back.
Yeah, it was in a little bit too tight there, but there's Magnuson again. Puck comes right out to the front of the net there. And Pietola was able to make the save, but, we're going to see Bemidji State with a little bit more energy now, a little bit more sense of urgency, down by a goal, and their season on the line.
Not a position they've been in quite a while. Just one goal. They've won 7 straight at home. That's third in the D1 ranks. They're 15-6-0 on home ice here in Bemidji, Minnesota. But right now the Huskies putting it to him as Magnuson went to the paint again. Great setup from Judding.
Yeah, Judding faked that shot. It was kind of a pass shot across the ice, and Pietola had to come up with a really nice save.
Here's Campbell with it. He's followed like a blanket there by Casper Magnuson. Lost his left mitt. Good shift on a 28 in white. 6:15 and counting to go here in regulation time. 2-1 Huskies of Michigan Tech with a lead. Flamang off the mark for Jones. Good quick stick there from Michigan Tech from Kukkonen to slide that outside of the zone, forcing the Beavers to have to reset, get onside. Campbell up the wall. Tony Fulmer back off a skate at center. That's big Kataroff. And offside is called with 5:44 to go in regulation time.
Yeah, simple plays by Michigan Tech. You have time, you have space. Make the simple play out of the zone. Try to force Bemidji State to go the whole 200 feet of the rink. Again, that's not playing defensive. That's just playing smart, making the smart play.
Yeah. Mosley back in deep. Gordon turns. Logan Pietila was close there. Was he ever? Now Eric Martin sweeps it in for Bemidji State. 5:25 and counting left here in regulation time. Gordon, CCHA Rookie of the Year, slowed up by Kyle Loaf. And Loaf looks like he came up a little lame there. Looked like he was favoring his left arm. And the trainer right there taking a look at him, favoring that left side. And he's on the bench for now. His team with 5 minutes to go now in the O-zone.
Oh,
They've
what
spent
a
a lot of
What
time.
a
We're
hit.
going to get our first penalty of the game. And the hit on Irie. And Michigan Tech is going to be shorthanded. For how long, I think, is the question. Nick Williams, Bruce Vita makes the call. And Vita's going to talk there with fellow referee Brady Johnson.
And it was a big hit.
2 minutes. Here's a look, Pat. What do you think?
It looked.
Do you challenge this?
Well, yeah. If you're Tom Serratori, you have nothing to lose.
Yeah, you have to. But
other than your timeout, yeah, they're going to take a look at it.
They're going to take a look. Yep, you have to. You're right. Here's Brady Johnson. They're going to take a look. You couldn't even hear him, so loud in here, but they're going to take a look at this.
Williams pasted him pretty good. However, I'm not sure what Bemidji forward that was, but he was turning.
It was Irie.
Yeah, it was Irie, right?
It was Irie. It was Kirkland Irie.
So, and Irie was kind of turning into Williams.
Here's some looks back, Pat.
Yeah. Okay, first we're going to have to see if there's contact to the head. No. And Irie was turning to his left in towards Williams. Watch him turn right there. And boy, oh boy,
Call on the ice on Williams was 2 for boarding.
How many times have you and I talked about, thank God we're not officials?
Yeah.
Because that's a tough one to call.
It is.
He called the 2 on him. They're looking to see if it's a 5.
Yep.
And the thing was, he was close to the boards too.
And the head was close.
Both players, right?
Yep.
It wasn't like it was a foot and a half away and completely from behind.
I think we're going to get a verdict here.
Yeah.
Bruce Vita will tell us. So a 2-minute penalty, it stays. No 5, but nevertheless, the Beavers with 4:58 to go with a power play here in the box for 2 or less is Nick Williams. Bemidji State on their power play, 16.4% on the season. Michigan Tech, 78.3 on the kill.
Jutting on the draw for Bemidji State.
Here we go. Watch out for this young man. Polkamp with a wicked wrister there. Didn't get through. He can shoot it. He will likely be out there with Loaf the entire time on this power play.
And I don't know if I like that shot right away.
You don't?
No,
Set up?
Unless something was completely clear, you're just kind of.
Matthias Scholl, Mosley in there, and he's gonna hold this puck. It'll be a D-zone draw.
Great play by Mosley there.
Yeah.
Get right on top of Scholl had no other choice but to hold on to that puck.
Bemidji State in the D zone here. Logan Pietola for Michigan Tech will take the draw. Michigan Tech's PK 41st in the country. Bemidji State's power play 51st. Mention the numbers 16.5 and 78.3. The particulars. Here come the Beavers now. Camp lets Road take this. Jackson Judding down near side corner. Up top, Kyle Loaf takes a look, fires. Yeah. Easy stop for Pietola. He sees it. He's going to stop.
I don't like that at all. Take the shot you want. Get the shot that you want.
Yep.
And they had plenty of time. They were getting set up. They get the puck back to Loaf there. And, he had time. And no one was in front of the net. And that's an easy save for Pietola.
Yep.
You need one shot, Ben. You need one shot to tie this game up. Make sure it's the one you want.
Yep. 65 seconds remain and the minor penalty to Nick Williams. Kyle Loaf gets it back. Little touch from Leighton Road. Here come Bemidji State. Road to the line. Couldn't gain it. Wanted a call. Didn't get it.
Yeah, and Michigan Tech did a great job. They forced Loaf into making that pass to Road.
Yep.
And then they just closed on that right away. Really good job of penalty killing.
How about that work from Logan Pietola?
Listen, you force things to the boards like that, you're playing right into their hands.
Bemidji State, they turn it over again. Cascaperdi, he'll sweep it in deep. Scholl will slow it. 20 seconds left. Bemidji State hasn't even got one good look.
No.
They never got set up here.
And while they had two opportunities to get set up and just took shots.
Two easy shots, for the goalkeeper. Now Weissman, dying seconds now with a minor penalty to Michigan Tech to Williams. 3, 2, and 1. We're back to 5-on-5 as Williams gets back into the picture inside of the defensive zone. We'll keep our eyes on Matthias Scholl. 2:50 and counting to go. When do you think Tom Serratori pulls him? Any feel?
I probably about 50 seconds away. Probably pull him at the 2-minute mark.
Okay.
A little under.
Wolf can't keep that in. Logan Pietola. Here he comes. Good job coming back, though, by Mitch Wolf there. Can he get it back and get this puck up ice? Flamang over there. Rink-wide look off the stick of the Husky defenseman. That's Chase Pietola back there. 2:20 to go. Here comes Kukkonen now with speed. The Minnesota boy back in his home state sweeps it in. Out there with Works and Rasmussen. Now Martin will keep our eyes on Scholl. 2:10 to go. He's got the arm in the air. He's still in the crease or right on top of it. Nothing yet. Looks like he might be making the move. Nothing yet. There's a chance for Irie. Missed it. Polkamp. Now Road trying to get free. Scholl still in the goal crease. Now he's coming to the bench. Extra attackers coming on. It'll be Flamang. 6-on-5. Pietola's got it with 1:44 to go in regulation time with the net empty.
Yeah, Pietola's just doing a terrific job in just smothering everything and holding on to it.
So on that power play that Bemidji State had, Pat, just one shot, no grade A looks, as we mentioned. They only had 39 seconds in the zone.
Yeah.
So tip your hat to Tech.
Right, and they won the initial draw on the power play, and took a quick shot.
Yep.
And then they had another opportunity.
Icing call here.
Where Loft had it at the top, right at the blue line, and just threw a weak wrist shot in that was easily gloved.
Yep.
And,
So the Michigan Tech Huskies so far this season have surrendered just one extra attacker goal for the record. It was against Minnesota State, and it came way back in the first half. Can Bemidji State break that trend? We're going to find out here.
Bemidji State gets what they want, a power play. But what's killed them all year? Their power play.
Yeah, 16%.
16% is it's not good enough, Ben.
No, it's not.
And you want to be, your power play, your penalty kill, and your goaltending has to be good.
Here we
if
go.
You want to win playoff games.
Yep, you're right. Final 90 seconds here in regulation time. Can the Beavers get it tied up and force overtime? 80 seconds and counting. 2-1 Michigan Tech with a lead. Jackson Judding going to have to bring it 200 feet. Isaac Gordon, good work out of him in there. The product of Landmark, Manitoba. Southeast of Winnipeg. Ahead now for Martin into the zone. A minute to go now in regulation. Pietila made the stop. Huskies knock it down.
Stick.
Yep. Referee in the corner says touch with a high stick. 57 seconds remain here.
Boy, Bemidji State's been winning a lot of draws in this period. Timeout, I think, for Michigan Tech.
Yep, they took it, Pat. You're right. So Michigan Tech here, they won the season series 2-1-1. With the Mason Cup on the line here tonight. Joe Shawn there, he's in the khaki-colored sport coat, glasses on in the middle of your screen. To his right is Jordy Murray, one of his assistants, son of longtime NHL and college coach Andy Murray. And then on the other bench, Tom Serratori. He's got his former captain back from that 09 team, Travis Winters, with him among his assistants. So what do they got to do here? Is it simple as just you got to get pucks and bodies at the net?
You're throwing, you got that extra player out there. And so obviously the draw is critical. And you got to make sure everybody, if your centerman doesn't know that he is going to win that draw or doesn't have a good feeling,
right?
His winger's got to be able to jump right in and get that puck back, and then you get bodies to the net and you throw everything at the net.
Draw to the left of Blake Pietila. 57 seconds remain.
Judding on the draw. He's been great tonight.
Their best guy there all year.
Wins it again.
Loaf looking for a tip from Judding. Goes back in behind the net. Michigan Tech trying to work it up the wall. They get it outside of the zone, and they send it down. But it'll come right back. They can't change a course. 45 and a half seconds due to the icing.
And, a lot of people don't like, another icing. Hey, you take the icing. Anything to get the puck out of danger, and you live to fight the next draw, right?
Yeah. Drama here in the CCHA Championship Final. 40 seconds to go. Home team, Bemidji State, regular season champs here on home ice, trying to tie it. Loaf shoots one in.
Oh, good block.
Yep. Jed Pietila into the corner with Flamang. Martin in there, 11 for Bemidji State. Got a free. Leighton Road now. On to Polkamp. Now Kyle Loaf up top. Looking for a redirect from Jackson Judding. 20 seconds to go now in the third period. Sent down again by Michigan Tech. And an icing here, 13.2 to go.
Things got to happen quick for Bemidji State. They got to move that puck quick and then a quick shot. Because, if you hold on to it, that's just going to give Michigan Tech and their defenders time to get in front of the shots and block them. So it's got to be bang, bang type of play.
Logan Pietila for Michigan Tech. Jackson Judding. And it's one into the corner. Jed Pietila down there. Russell in there. Jackson Judding can't get it out. Now they get it to the side of the crease. Time is going to run out. They got to get a shot away in a hurry. And they don't. And Michigan Tech wins the Mason Cup and the CCHA tournament title. And they get the automatic bid to the NCAA tournament. It is their third trophy in a row. The Broadmoor in 17, the Sauer Trophy in 18, and in 2024, the Mason Cup.
It was a very, very confident team coming into the game. Joe Shawn, he told us during the week, I believe in these guys. They believe in themselves. And I tell you what, Ben, we've seen it the last 2 years in the Big Ten tournament where Michigan has gone into Minnesota twice and won. And so maybe that they don't feel the pressure of playing on the road and in front of a hostile environment, and that home team a little bit, might be a little nervous. I don't know if that was the case tonight so much. It was a heck of a hockey game.
Mm-hmm.
But Tech comes out on top and will move on to the NCAA tournament.
What a victory. Backstop by 34 saves from Blake the Great, Blake Pietola. And this Michigan Tech program is going back to the NCAA tournament for the third consecutive year. The last two is an at-large. I would not want to play this team in game one of the NCAA tournament, Pat.
The way they defended tonight, Ben, they just didn't allow Bemidji State to get to the middle of the ice.
Right.
Hey, occasionally you're going to. You're not going to stop a team completely.
Mm-hmm.
But for the majority of the night, they just said, you know what? We're not going to allow you in the middle of the ice.
Right.
And they allowed Pietola to see the puck, and they just did a terrific job. Their counterattack was really good tonight, and they deserve to win this hockey game.
They did. They really did. Unbelievable effort turned in from Joe Sean and his guys.
They won't,
Joe's making his way out
yeah,
now. You'll
and-
see him
and-
on the right there in a minute.
They won't mind that bus ride.
6 hours. They're going right back to the
Right,
Keweenaw
yeah.
tonight.
Yeah, win or lose, they were going home tonight. And
What an effort. Jordy Murray in there, assistant coach, and the Aussie, the married man, Bronte in there. There's Joe Sean thanking the fans. Joe's a great man. 7th year as their head coach, was there as an assistant, and he was a great goaltender in his days. In the mid-'80s, he led the CCHA in goals against one year, and then went on to coach Ryan Miller in the North American Hockey League, and then got into coaching from there. And now he's worked with Pietola, and what a marriage they've had as player and coach.
And when you hear something from a coach, like we did during the week,
Yep.
he was calm about it. And he just, I trust these guys. They believe in themselves.
Yeah.
They're a good group. They play for each other. And, hats off to Tom Serratori and
Great
his
season.
team for the season that they had. Hey, it's a one-goal game, right?
Yep.
And just like we expected that
Yeah.
it was going to be tight,
Yep.
it was going to be hard, and goals were going to be hard to come by.
The handshake line, Kyle Loaf leading the Bemidji State Beavers. He's played his final game in the green and white here in northern Minnesota. What a career he's had. What a warrior. Thanks to him for his time during the week. And, I'm thinking through this conversation. You brought it up we had with Joe Sean, Pat, and we asked about leaders of the team. And he didn't pick one guy.
No.
He didn't pick two guys. He said the heartbeat of this team is our senior class, the entire class. We're big when our seniors are going. It's tough to stop us. And he did say the leaders of those seniors, Logan and Blake Pietola, the twin bros.
Well, right, exactly, right?
Yep.
When those guys decide to come back, because they wanted to play with another family member, but more importantly, they wanted another crack at it.
Yeah, they did.
They had a bad experience last year in the NCAAs.
Yep.
They didn't play very well, and that can happen, right?
Yeah.
And so they decide to come back and they get another crack at it. Good for them.
They do 3 in a row for Joe Sean and his Michigan Tech Huskies. Is the handshake line almost nearing the end, and it's always hard when your season ends. There'll be guys sitting in that locker room probably for an hour with their gear on, knowing for many of the Bemidji State players.
It's heartbreaking.
Yeah, it was their final game. And that's the way it crumbles this year in the CCHA. No two-bid league this year, just the one.
In a league that was so tight all season long.
It really was.
St. Thomas, unfortunately for them, had a ton of injuries.
They did.
At one point, there was no question in my mind St. Thomas was the best team.
Yeah, you told me that routinely.
They were. And then they get hit with a rash of injuries. That's hockey, and it's unfortunate, but there's one team that stands at the end, and tonight just happens to be the Michigan Tech Huskies.
So Commissioner Don Lucia, he's on the island now. He's going to hand out some hardware, and
He's everywhere now. He joined us. And,
Yep, he will hand out the Mason Cup momentarily. So a word for the Beavers and Casper Magnuson.
Who was great tonight.
He was.
I mean, he was terrific.
University with 34 saves. And your Mason Cup Championship MVP of the game is Rylan Mosby of Michigan Tech University with the game-winning goal. Please receive your honor at center ice.
Here's Mosley, the game winner, Pat, as you heard, with Don
Fans,
Lucia.
with tonight's results, the Michigan Tech Huskies are the 2024 Central Collegiate Hockey Association Mason Cup playoff champions.
And here comes the Mason Cup.
The Mason Cup is named after legendary Lake Superior State, Bowling Green State, and Michigan State coach Ron Mason, whose name appeared on the trophy a league-high 13 times. Mason was instrumental in the establishment and success of the CCHA, helping it to grow into one of the most powerful college hockey conferences of all time. With the Mason Cup joining the historic McNaughton Cup as part of the CCHA family, the CCHA now has arguably the best trophy tandem in college hockey. Fans, please give a warm welcome to the Commissioner of the Central Collegiate Hockey Association, Mr. Don Lucia, now standing at center ice to present the Huskies the famed Mason Cup.
I'd like to congratulate Bemidji State University and Michigan Tech University for an outstanding CCHA playoff championship game. I would also like to acknowledge the great attendance, sellout, a tribute to Bemidji State and their fans and the Michigan Tech fans who are here tonight. With that, I'd like to present the Mason Cup in the automatic qualifier to the NCAA tournament to Michigan Tech University. Logan, Arvid, come and get your trophy.
Hockey fans, please show your appreciation to the 2024 CCHA playoff champions, the Michigan Tech Huskies.
Starts back in June and July oftentimes, Pat, for these teams in college hockey, and that's the moment, one of the moments, that these teams play this great sport of college hockey for, right there, what you're seeing.
I mean, think about it. I mean, the season starts in September. And,
yeah.
You know, you go through the battle and you get to this point, and Tech holds the trophy tonight.
They do, and on to Logan Pietola there after Arvid Kataroff had it. They'll all skate it around and celebrate the moment. That 6-hour bus ride back to Houghton, Michigan.
It's going to be...
Nobody will be sleeping.
No one will be sleeping tonight, no. But, you know...
Nobody.
And they'll get back on the road on next Tuesday to wherever they'll be heading.
They're on
we'll
to the
find
tournament.
that out on Sunday afternoon.
Yep, early evening.
Early evening.
There's Blake Pietola, fifth year,
listen,
along with brother Logan.
I'm looking at these fans, you know, from Michigan Tech. I don't know how many there are here.
I got a few hundred.
They traveled well.
It's great.
And you know, and this is what college hockey is all about, isn't it?
Yeah,
it is. You know, you get the fans, you get the band, you get both teams competing really, really hard.
You do it on the road.
And then to do it on the road.
That's even more special, isn't it? I mean, I know it's special at home, but it says an awful lot to me. Again, I would not want to be the team that has to play this Husky team. They are going to be a tough out in round one of the NCAA tournament.
Well, they're going to get the 16 seed number. You know, for sure.
For sure. Could
for
go
sure.
up one.
You know, well, based on the pairwise where everyone is at,
yep.
It looks like they'll be 16.
Yeah.
They're going to play the number one seed. Number one seed hasn't played a team from this league in the style that is going to be played.
Yeah.
And
Laps continue over to the student section for Michigan Tech.
You know,
Rookie of the year, Gordon.
Yeah, and you know, going into this game tonight, I'm thinking, you know what? Who has the advantage? This is one of those games where I didn't have a feel.
Either team did,
You know,
right?
Right. That
had the advantage.
I mean, they both defend well.
Right.
They both have good goaltending. You know, they both have teams, guys on their team that have the ability to score.
Yep.
And at one individual play by Mosley, which was, you know, a highlight reel goal, Ben.
It was.
You know, and a good goal. I mean, it was one heck of a goal. It was the difference in the hockey game.
Sure was. A 2-1 victory that saw Casper Magnuson for Bemidji State open the scoring, and then not long after that, Chase Pietola came back and tied the score up. How about 52 seconds later?
Yeah.
That's a response. And then Mosley, the goal you talked about, partner. 9:20 the time of it. Matthew Campbell, the assist on the 18th of the season for Ryland Mosley.
But think about it, Ben. You know, the goal that Magnuson scored, right? I mean,
Yep.
great goal.
Yeah.
And you know, textbook play, work hard in the corner, get the puck out,
Yep.
throw, you know, get to the open spot. But how many times did Bemidji have those chances? Not very many.
They didn't
tonight, and
they didn't.
And that's a credit to how well Michigan Tech defended in their own zone.
Yep. And their coach, I'll go back to that as you get that great photo there. Joe Sean said, what drives Michigan Tech? He said, their defense is more experienced. We have Chase Pietola. Offensively, they have Polkamp. Two teams are very similar. They're playing tight. They don't give up much. But it was his team tonight that did exactly what Bemidji did to Lake State last week.
Right, and you know, his D-core has grown up throughout the season.
They really have. They grew up tonight.
Yeah, and from being inexperienced and, you know, to be able to handle it on the road in a hostile environment, you know, it didn't seem to faze them at all.
Right.
And you know, it was good.
Well, it was a good night here for Michigan Tech. They are the victors here tonight. Great being with you, Pat.
You too.
Always fun with Pat Micheletti.
Great to be in this building, and you know what great host Bemidji State was, and everybody with Flow Sports and Don Lucia, and you can't forget Perry.
Perry's our guy.
Yeah, Perry's our guy, and head of communications for the CCHA.
Yep.
Good group and a lot of fun in a great building.
Sure was. So that'll do it. For Pat Micheletti, all of our crew, as Pat mentioned, my name is Ben Holden. Hope you enjoyed the broadcast here as the Michigan Tech Huskies, the 2024 Mason Cup champions. They are your CCHA tournament champions here in 2024. They are off to the NCAA tournament. They'll be playing next week somewhere. They'll find out early Sunday evening. Thanks so much for watching here on Flow Sports and FloHockey. For Pat, all of our crew, Ben Holden saying